Hey folks, how are you? How's everyone doing? Center, sort of center. All right, hey, good to see you guys on TikTok. Ugh. How are we on Instagram? Thank you so much for the hearts on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. Black Cat is a new YouTube member. Welcome, Black Cat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome everyone on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium and my Facebook pages. It is hot as HE double hockey sticks here. And I am in Dunkirk, New York, which is sort of like upstate New York. So I've got a pollution and air pollution problem going on here because of the wildfires in Canada. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, I mean, I think it's at least national news, but I don't know, maybe it is international news. I would assume so with it being Canada, but it's quite dangerous, and we've been dealing with this for like 2 or 3 days. So I am starting to feel the deterioration. Can't keep the windows open, can't go outside. I mean, if you go outside, you need to be careful. Everything's orange, can't really breathe the air. It's just very, very toxic. It's starting to take a little bit of a toll on me. So bear with me tonight. And I have to keep letting the cat in and out because I can't keep her trapped in here permanently, but you know, she was going to kill me if I didn't let her out for a little while. So I may be getting up a lot tonight as well. So bear with me. And I hope all of you who are dealing with this, I think there's like 100 million of us or something. It's freaking ridiculous. I hope you guys are safe. All right, so it's really not a laughing matter, but what else are we going to do with it at this point? Going to give this a second to let a few people tune in. So while we do that, do want to make a couple quick announcements. I have the early bird waitlist unrolling for my psychic mediumship course. I'm going to be teaching the psychic mediumship course one time in 2027. And once registration opens, that's going to fill up pretty quickly, and it is limited seating. So if you want to get on the early bird wait list to get an alert email to get your foot in the door for that, now would be the time to do that. So you can email me at Rev as in Reverend, so it's just R-E-V and then my name. So Rev Ivy Rivera at Yahoo, and put in the title a little book, okay, or a crystal ball. I'll know exactly what that's for, and I will get you added to the early bird wait list. I'm thinking I'm probably going to be running it. What the hell did I decide? I think I did make a decision on that. It's not 100% permanent, but I'm thinking February I'm going to start. Okay, so we'll see. But anyways, I'm going to be locking that down and opening up registration. My goal is this upcoming week. All right, so get on the early bird wait list so you can save your seat for the psychic mediumship course. Now, if you guys don't care whether or not you take the course with a group of people, if you prefer to do independent learning, we are evergreen. So you can do this at any time. And anyone who gets certified through the psychic mediumship course, through the tarot course, through Reiki or the reverendship training, whenever you get a certification through the Ivy League Psychic Academy or Roots Revival Interfaith, you are eligible to work Ivy League Psychic Fairs, Ivy's Healing Call Center, to take my spillover work, to become an assistant teacher. So there are a whole bunch of lifelong opportunities there. So check it out. Also, where am I? What is this behind me? This was a funeral home for over 55 years. It is a beautiful 5,000 square foot 1882 Victorian that sat abandoned for 16 years. I bought this place up just a couple years ago, and it is incredibly haunted. I run tours. We are on the Haunted History Trail of New York State. So you can go to hauntedhistorytrailofnewyorkstate.com if you want to watch a video on the house. And I did an interview for it. Their magazine just came out. I got 2 nice spreads in there that you could check out. And it's a lot of fun. So if you guys are into like spooky things and road trips, you can actually come here. We're 2 blocks from the beach. You can come stay with up to 25 of your friends for a haunted sleepover experience. You may also want to book your group for a ghost hunt at this time. Things are starting to fill up awfully quickly. And if you're not into the paranormal aspect of things, but you love history, you love architecture, you know, you can get a historical tour for yourself or with a group and come check this place out. We're also on the historical trail of Chautauqua County. This was the Francis Rhodes house, and then it was the Gardner Coletti Funeral Home for over 55 years, and it is now the Ivy League Psychic Academy. So come check it out. Come say hey to me and all the spirits. They are waiting for you. There is never a dull moment, I assure you. Is there anything else I was supposed to mention? I posted that I'm looking for guinea pigs. My students need to, they're like, I don't know. I really didn't want to be drinking water because it's not helping me. I'm dealing with the forest fire air from Canada. So just bear with me, guys. But anyways, yeah, so I did post. I think it's pinned, maybe not, depending on what platform you guys are on. But that I am looking for guinea pigs. Guinea pigs are volunteers who can receive readings from my current, soon to graduate, psychic mediumship students. All right, so if you guys want to do that, go onto one of my social media platforms. You know what? I know for a fact it's pinned on my TikTok. So go onto my TikTok at Ask Ivy. Don't look at the fake accounts. This one has, I think, over, 300,000 people. I don't know how many exactly are on there. That's the one. It's pinned, and you can drop a comment saying, I want to volunteer, and then we'll send you instructions, but I need a bunch while this group is getting ready for their graduation. All right. I think that's everything I really need to mention. What is that? Okay, Cassilis from TikTok said my fried is in Buffalo and was all smoked out. You're what? You're fried? What's a fried? It's the same in Ohio. It's really thick. Yeah, says Tiffany. It's a freaking mess. This is a freaking mess. We had this a couple years ago, and like I'm having flashbacks now because we're going into day 3 of this. And like the way my body responded was insane. I had never experienced anything quite like that. It feels to me, and I'm curious as to how everyone else is affected because I don't have any like health problems. You know, I'm in perfect condition, but it feels like the flu. My bones hurt. My muscles ache. I can't turn my head. I feel like I have whiplash. My eyes feel like sandbags. They're swollen. I can't swallow. It's like, it's ridiculous. And it hits you like a ton of bricks. And it only takes about 24 hours to really start deteriorating. So I just don't handle this situation well. And I don't have problems. So I can't imagine what the hell people are doing if they've really got issues here. Plus it's hot as hell and you can't have outside air coming in. So it's like the ACs are off and it's insanity right now. So I pray to God. I think we all just need to manifest that these fires go out because at this point they're saying absolutely expect problems through the weekend and it could last until the snow hits. I'm like, no, we can't live this way. I will literally like head down to California or something, pack up the can, get the hell out of here if I have to deal with this for another couple weeks. I just can't do it. Anyways, let's all pray. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this tonight because I know we have a bunch of early ones and you guys love this show. This is all mediumship all the time, all right? So You're going to go ahead, drop your $10 donation and your question. If you have a deceased loved one, a deceased pet, ancestors, guides, angels that you want to hear from, a specific question that you want Spirit to answer, you're going to go ahead and post that along with your payment, or in the comment section here. Diana, my beautiful producer, is going to be posting, reposting, posting, reposting if you're on TikTok and Instagram, because neither of those platforms give us a description box, nor do they allow us to pin a comment. All right. So that's how she has to do it. Now, if you prefer to do everything under one umbrella, a little bit easier, you can go onto my YouTube channel at Ask Ivy the Medium. You can do everything in one spot. And that's also the best way to support me, because TikTok has had me shadow banned on and off for 2 years, and they stopped paying me long ago. Instagram, I don't know what goes on with Instagram. It just doesn't often seem to function. Okay. But my YouTube channel is always taking care of me pretty well, pretty consistently. So again, the best way to support me, and if you want to do everything under one roof, go over to YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium. Also, if you have to post and ghost, it's not an issue. This will get published exclusively on YouTube in about 24 hours with timestamps, so you can go back and watch your readings. What was that comment that you just popped up there? Fire. Okay, this is Susanna Cruz said, fires here in Southern Oregon are over 11,000 acres, and it's very smoky. So bad right now. So bad. And Tiffany from TikTok said, no, we can't. The U.S. Help Canada put out their damn fires. No, why can't the U.S. help? Yeah, because we have a non-existent government, basically, at this point. They don't even care about us, so they're not going to help with anything. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I know you guys have helped us. You know, I know you're probably going to get more help from Mexico before, you know, pass right over, because we're absolutely useless at this point. I agree with you 100%. So we are sending prayers, okay? And I think we all just need to manifest, okay, that we get the help that we need and that this gets under control ASAP. All right, let's move on. I think we're good to go. Yes. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino arrow walk. This is my all spirit messages show where I do all channeling, all mediumship, all the time. You could drop a $10 donation and ask your question. You can also simply receive a message from whatever spirit decides to come through for you today. You can connect with your deceased loved ones, your deceased pets, your angels, guides, ancestors. Anything goes, and it is unlimited tonight. So you can drop as many donations, ask as many questions as you want to. If you need to post and ghost, it's not an issue. This will get published in about 24 hours on my YouTube channel at Ask Ivy the Medium, and it'll have timestamps. But if you guys prefer to do this privately, go onto my website, IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com. And I do work internationally. It's a simple self-booking system. And if the hours of availability aren't looking good for you, like you're in the Middle East, for example, and it's getting a little bit tight, you can always get a video reading. Also, if you guys want to just do this type of reading where you receive a spirit message, or you want to gift it to someone else who's in need, click on all spirit messages, okay, up on my website. All right, let's go ahead and get into this today. Who do we have first? Diana. First up is Kelly Davis. And what's the question? Or is she just receiving whatever comes through? Okay. So if I don't see a question, I will just give out whatever message is coming through for you guys. Also, if there is someone specific on the other side that you're wanting to hear from, including your pets, give me a first name, okay? Or at least a nickname, and I could pull them from the crowd. Kelly Davis, what spirit message is coming through for Kelly Davis? There is a gentleman here watching over you in a paternal way, used to do this a lot. And then maybe as he was getting a little older, something may have been going on with him, like orally, like dental stuff. I have him kind of, I don't know, feeling like his teeth with his tongue and sort of thrusting his tongue forward. So he may have been dealing with some things there. He comes through being funny, adaptive, always trying to put a spin on things, always trying to bring in some silver lining, trying not to be negative. I would say he could have at times even been like toxic positivity, okay, or just not like fully addressing things that needed to be handled. And what I'm actually getting with this is a guy who may have had some escapism and avoidant issues. So whether this was like drinking, this was any type of use, this was just too much daydreaming, this was, I don't want to talk about it, or I don't want to get involved in conflict, I don't want to have, that type of conversation. If it's going to force me to do any type of labor, it's not good. I mean, these aren't good characteristics. These are weak, characteristics. They're immature. He was undeveloped, or he said underdeveloped. And it took a toll. It did take a toll on his relationships. It took a toll on the family, and it had a trickle effect eventually leading down to you. And this would have caused you to maybe feel in certain situations in the family that you had to tap into things like parentification, overextension, extreme empathy, monitoring of other people's moods and needs and things like this. And what he wants for you today is to get free from any areas in your life, and he owns it and has karmic debt to you in this area, aside from loving you and giving you red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it out, resonates. But he has obligation to you in this area to help you to grow and to see, to help you grow and to help you see where it is that you need to be more in your own energy and not overreaching, holding space where you shouldn't, collecting red flags, tolerating things that are below you, that aren't paying you enough, that are imbalanced in any way. It's almost like you're wiping it all out. You're getting ready to leave this behind. It's like the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. Also, just be careful. He's saying at this point in your mouth, you don't bite off more than you can chew. So if there's a situation where, and I don't know who is D, like a Daniel or something, I hear a D sound in someone's name, but be careful you're not biting off more than you can chew in a situation where you feel like I could take on this work, or I can take on this issue, okay, this energy that may belong to others rightfully, okay. It's also like keep an eye on your schedule right around this time, okay. The best way for you to be powerful going forward is for you to be conserving your energy and only focusing mentally, literally on the things that are your own business. Anything that isn't that, you need to start turning away from, okay. And I do feel some level of apology from him here, very sincerely, that he didn't kind of grow up, and deal with things in the way that he should have. Okay. And I'm not saying he's not an enjoyable guy. I mean, a lot of people are, and they're immature. Okay. And then, like, unfortunately, it ends up being our baggage, especially if you end up being a female in the family. That's how that looks. Thank you, Kelly. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? CJG. CJG, what spirit is coming through for CJG? What spirit message is coming through? Got a lady coming through here. I can't tell if you're dark or she was dark, but it's like one of us is darker. The other one is a little bit lighter. And there's a lot of almost like comparison of tone of skin here. So maybe that was like in your family. There's a lot of comparison Maybe some people came out, you know, a lot darker than others. And it's almost like she's talking about how beautiful the tone of your skin is, how beautiful the color is. And it's also like so I don't know if you had a problem with your skin here for a while. Stress can do that. I'm hearing lack of sleep, maybe even dehydration. But it's like your skin is becoming crystal clear. It's like, you know, glass and like rosy cheeks. And you're just looking very bright and very healthy. And it just feels like you're kind of glowing, okay, from the inside out. She's talking about how beautiful you are, how beautiful you are. And I feel like she just look at you all day. I also feel like you look very similar to her. I almost feel like if I were to take a baby picture of her, black and white photograph, I were to put it next to you, black and white photograph, it's like these two could be sisters, okay? These could be twins. And she's talking about something about her eyebrows too. You guys may have the same eyebrows, even if you pluck, like who doesn't, okay? It can be hard to remember what the original shape was, but I think she had these nice full, you know, very almost like trustworthy eyes and eyebrows. And holy shit. I just went deaf in the left. This is a medium, right? So she's a medium, your mediumistic grandma coming through here talking about you have this, okay? You inherited this. Is it a blessing? Is it a curse? That's debatable given the day, the spirit that's coming through, whether or not you want to deal with it. But is it a blessing? Is it a curse? She's not really asking. That's a statement. Spirit speaks in riddles. So it's a statement. Is it a blessing? Is it a curse? What she's really doing in that part of the message is confronting you as to like whether or not you're going to deal with this. What are you going to do with this? Okay. Are you going to take what can be a curse and turn it into a blessing for you, for others? Okay. For the future generations who are going to have this, because you're not, you know, she wasn't the first. You won't be the last. This runs real heavy in the bloodline, real heavy. Now, I wonder if it wasn't her, but it was more of, she's like, story time. Okay. I feel like she reminds me of Nina Simone. You know, Nina Simone just like takes her time and veers off. And anyways, there's this, like, how do I say this? Okay. I think it was her grandmother who used to do healings and was essentially a shaman and used things like rattles or bells or some type of chimes. I don't know what exactly this is, but it's almost like she calls it snaking it out, snaking it out. So if she was healing someone, she mostly worked with women, but so this would have been to you, what, great-great-grandma, right? I think if a woman was laying there, she would have found what needed to go, what block and obstacle was there in her body, and she would have snaked it out. And like through this shaking. And I hear like drums, I hear some other things being used, some flutes and stuff, but mostly it was herbs and it was oils and it was stuff like eggs. Now, this is a Puerto Rican technique. So, I mean, I'm sure it spans a lot of different cultures, but I see eggs here. I see eggs here. I see eggs on the belly button, which can be about fertility, bottom of the feet. This is all cleansing. The point of all of this, it's time for you to learn. It's time for you to start giving it. So if you've been feeling inclined to get more into any type of energy work, healing work, mediumship, anything, okay, in that vein, it really does feel like it's starting to bubble up and out of you. And she's going to be leading you through that adventure. Okay. She's very proud of you. She loves you very much. And she puts a flower in your hair, like purple, which is about spiritual development, but it's also power, royalty. So I feel like you're coming into a royal position in your life on a side note. Very nice. She loves you very much. Thank you, CJG. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? You guys, please, everyone, give this video a thumbs up. Drop a comment of any kind, in particular, letting me know where you're tuning in from, what the temps are there, and whether you're dealing with this smoke. And if you are on YouTube, please do subscribe. Same thing with TikTok. And hit that hype button. I really do appreciate it. Hello, 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 hello. How are we doing? Who do we have next? Who do we have next, Diana? Let's keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Thank you. Carrie, Kerry, Carrie. I'm feeling encouraged connecting with Mark that he and I have a good relationship potential. What does Spirit think? Okay, so Carrie said she feels good about Mark. What's the relationship potential? It's just my concern here is on his ability to focus. Your grandmother comes through talking about his ability to stay on target. So it's like he may end up often derailing because something else caught his eye. So this could be anything ranging from, I mean, I'm hearing from your guide's work, but I'm kind of doubting it would be that for the most. Oh, he's saying it's that. Okay. Well, whatever. I mean, what are you going to argue? You can prove it, like, what are you going to do about it? So if he were to say something like, I'm just getting really tied up in work right now, or I just really, you know what I mean? Work is exhausting me, or work this, work that. I'm calling bullshit, but it may be his go-to. He may also use certain sort of excuses to pull back, to be able to go over and explore other things, other relationships, or create doubt in a connection because he likes the little cat and mouse, or he does actually want to go explore other relationships. So watch for excuses that feel off. They feel weird. It's like, that's funny because your grandmother is saying, you're quite psychic. So you may predict in a dream or a vision. You may just have a gut instinct a couple days ahead of time that he's going to like act weird, pull back, change up his stability or how he interacts with you in some way, and that you're going to hear something that you should pay attention to. And you should. I would definitely mark those days. But it seems like you're always getting it within 48 hours and, ahead of time. And so if he's using weird excuses, it could be because he doesn't want to be upfront about his abandonment issues, the amount of attention and affection he really needs, the fact that he has some pockets of low self-esteem here. I mean, that's certainly not the adult thing to do, is to be like, well, I'm going to sort of disappear. I'm going to become inconsistent so that this person chases me. And then once my ego is stroked, I'll kind of come back. It's like, this is 8th grade stuff. I mean, we need to really, so he has some areas where he needs to do some growth. I don't necessarily see him motivated to do that growth. So I don't know why he would. He would have to be motivated and then have the will and then have to follow through and then apply the tools that he's learning. So, could it happen? Sure. Is he thinking that way? No. And I do think that, where you guys have some nice, your grandmother's talking about comparison here. Comparison. I feel like I have a grandmother on mom's side here, but I do also feel like you have a grandmother on dad's side who may have said less, but acted quickly. It's like and you're very much like her, where it's like, if I may not say anything, but once I make a move, it's going to be very swift action. Both of them are getting in on this, where it feels like you guys have a nice connection in regards to a playfulness, some intellectual stimulation, a willingness to go on adventures, a willingness to get out into nature together. It's almost like two people who are very good at playing off of each other's energy and playing off of the energy of the universe. And again, the elements of nature that are very healing. This is very constructive. You may also be sort of mirroring each other in a lot of ways, where it's like, really, I'm kind of working on that, or really that happened in my last relationship, or really, I was just thinking that, and it's great. And it has a sort of almost childlike feel to it with a lot of very mature potential. The only thing there is, just don't forget, potential is potential. Potential is not anything. Potential is not real. Okay. It's just potential. So where we are right now, we can't connect on those levels, but it is entirely possible that when he wants other things, or he wants to be chased, or he's battling low self-esteem, that he would act fishy, for sure. Okay. And it's not something that should be tolerated. It should be something that he can authentically speak on and, you know, be upfront with you about, and you shouldn't have to ask for that honesty, okay, as well. All right, thank you, Carrie and Grandmas. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Again, you guys can ask to hear from a specific spirit, okay? Angels, guides, pets, deceased loved ones, ancestors, I mean, whatever. You can ask a specific question of them as well, or you can leave it open-ended and just receive whatever's coming through. All right, let's move on to another one. This is for Manny. Manny says, hi, Ivy. What does Spirit say that I can do to improve my LDL cholesterol count? Okay, cholesterol count. Oh. Well, first of all, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but it does look like maybe your dad had this, grandma had this. I don't know why I'm going on both sides of the family, but I'm like over here dad's side, over here grandma, mom's side. I have it popping up like whack-a-mole. But the bigger issue I think here is that it feels, and I have to be totally honest about this, again, I can't prescribe or diagnose, this feels stuck. This feels stuck to me. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're like, look, okay, have to live my life, but I'm already doing everything I can, whether it's changing my diet, reducing certain aspects of my diet, incorporating other things, whether it be vitamins or minerals or juices, or I don't know why I'm looking at turmeric and ginger and like lemon or lemongrass. Like, I don't know, but you know, it's like, I'm including this, I'm eliminating that, I'm balancing everything out. It's like I'm measuring. And then you're taking also whatever, maybe medications, for example, you know, you've been given, you're doing everything I'm hearing by the book, or you're getting educated and you're learning how to do things and are, you know, implementing them. So wherever you are on that journey, that's not really the point here. It's that you may feel as though the results you're getting from all of that just aren't what you think they ought to be. Okay. And I think that when you reach that point, it's going to be really important that you set it aside. Now, this doesn't mean neglect your health. Okay. This just means, you know what? It is what it is. I'm not thinking on this anymore. I'm not going to continue to try. Now, if you haven't done all these things, do them. Okay. Do them. But when you have exhausted everything and you're just not seeing the results that you want, you need to put it out of your mind. Okay, because that just really isn't helping anything. And you may want to start there. Now, I'm with Grandma on Mom's side, who says that one of the things you can do, and maybe you already started, is to change the way you see it. So instead of saying, my high cholesterol, okay, my diabetes, my this, my that, the old timers used to own these things like it was almost like a part of their personality or something, right? Don't do that. Like, don't refer to it as your anything, right? It's not your cholesterol. It's the cholesterol, okay? Or cholesterol, but it's not mine. Like, disconnect yourself from it. So your verbiage may be changing about this, and then you are also thinking of it differently. So when you think of it, she says, you tend to think of it as something that is like in you. It is preventing your mobility. It is affecting maybe like, I don't know, she said your feet, which it could be your feet, take it out resonates, but it could be like my mobility, or it's affecting what my future will look like, where I can go, how far I can go, okay, in life. It's affecting me systemically. Try to think of it more in terms of something outside of you, like a fact, like a definition, okay, like a number, and that's it. All right, it's way over here. It's way over here. It's not in me at all. It's way over here. And anything that is outside of you like this can be more easily manipulated by the universe, by whatever you're manifesting. And by however you choose to manipulate it with this medication or a different medication. There could also be some changes coming up with the medications, probably in about 3 months. So there could be some discussion on that. You may want to stay open to that. She'll be stepping in and leading you through that. But so will all the other loved ones who had this. Okay. Now, I do think, and on a final note, I'll wrap up with this. You need to be manifesting more of what you want. So every time you think about it, it creeps in, it wakes you up at night. You know, you think about it as something that's sort of like invaded your body. You want to instead stop that thought, cut that thought off, and replace it with a vision of what you want to see happen with it in the future. Maybe like a great example of this is like a chart. I just want to see it drop. I just want to see it go down. Maybe you're picturing, you know, a building. I just want to see it drop into non-existence. I want to see it, you know, burn up and turn to dust. I want to see it, whatever it is. Okay. Whatever helps you. And you can, you know, almost like blow away the ashes. You can even physically do that and be like, it is done. It is done. But we need to replace this cycle that isn't really working and it feels like very stuck energy. This is an opportunity for you to master a little bit more in regards to energy manipulation. Okay. And everything starts and ends with energy. But they'll be helping you through that a bit. That's going to be annoying for you. Okay. Yeah, because it's like I do so much, and then why is it sort of stuck? Interesting. All right. Thank you, Manny and loved ones. All right. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Edgar Velardes. Does my deceased aunt Alejandra have any messages for me? Her birthday would be tomorrow. Okay. Aunt Alejandra. For Edgar, any messages? She said, thank you for celebrating my life. Thank you for celebrating also my words. Now, I don't actually feel like she was a woman of a million words. I feel like she may have gotten maybe quieter as she got older, or she just had a sort of laid back demeanor. But I do feel like she's full of wisdom. She's very accurate, and she knew her truth. She knew her stuff. I feel like you're similar to her in that you don't feel like you need to prove yourself to anyone. Now, you bring your A game and you try your best, but you don't feel that you need to prove yourself, overextend, run your mouth, you know, overreach and monopolize conversations, pontificate. You just don't. You don't. You give a vibe, and you guys have such a similar vibe. It's so cute. It's like you're both just sort of easy peasy, you know, riding the waves in life. Maybe people can get on your boat. Maybe they'll have to get off. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. But I'm smooth sailing. And if you're going to come in here, you're going to try to rock this boat. You're going to poke holes in this boat. You're going to try to bring water and drama into this boat. I'm throwing you overboard. So there's this determination, this ability to use also your discernment. There is this desire to have and maintain peace in your life, but mostly like in your head, in your inner world. Okay. That you guys, I'm not saying it was easy for either one of you, but you are very, very persistent. Okay. With maintaining that, accomplishing it, and then maintaining it, clearing out what's toxic, who's toxic, what's attacking me, and then heal and maintain. All right. And she's just like so proud of you. She pours a little, it almost looks like a shot glass of something red, you know, and then it's like, cheers to you. And I see you both like sort of doing a shot. But again, she said, thank you for remembering me, keeping the candle lit for me. I don't know if you have I don't know where the word rosary came from. I was going to say something that looks almost like an altar. You may have a memorial space. She said rosary. So it also looks like, what am I looking at? It almost looks like, you know, a lei, but red flowers. Like you may have, or you may be thinking of building something that looks to me like an altar, a memorial space, and maybe you honor people with this. Okay. When it's, you know, their birthday, for example, their passing anniversary. She's also talking about holy water. She may have, is this a Catholic woman? Maybe you know, it's 2 references in a row. I don't want to say that. You know, it's good to have something like holy water up on your altar and sometimes you just periodically shake it through the house, okay, when things start to get loud. So I'm wondering if you're starting to accumulate a little bit of like weird paranormal activity where things just feel off, or you're in a condition right now where there's a lot of stress from the collective. 100%. There's no way you're not. Okay, we all are. But maybe just kind of clear that out. Just sort of shake that a little bit. Just shake that a little bit. Or she said, if you want something, okay? So it's like, I'm going to state my desire to the universe. I'm calling in my loved ones and my ancestors, and I'm just going to shake some holy water. I think these are tricks that she used. Okay. You could call it magic. You could call it faith. You could call it cleansing. You could call it manifestation. Okay. You could call it whatever you want, but it works. And she's going to be working with you more on that. She loves you very much. You guys really are two peas in a pod. Interesting. All right. Thank you. And Alejandra and Edgar. Awesome. Moving on to the next. Who do we have? Next up is Mackenzie Mooser. Does Spirit have any message regarding my connection with JR going forward? Everything was perfect for a while, but he went silent on me yesterday. Spirit, what about Mackenzie and JR? What's going on here? I just heard he's pulling some shit. He's pulling some shit. Who is that? Your relationship guide? Your relationship. You put your relationship guide through the ringer. This dude's like tough. He looks like he belongs at a bar smoking Lucky Strikes or some shit. And he's like a little rough. Okay. It feels like JR, and you have a grandmother coming through, so like, is that even his name? I think it is his name. I mean, like, what she can mean. Okay. All right, this is going all over the map. Let's go with her first, okay? You may be questioning his identity. You may be questioning masks. You may be questioning, too, if he has, because she's showing this little computer action. Does he have, like, fake accounts? Is he watching you from different accounts, right? That's always the sign of someone mentally unstable, in my opinion. What the hell? Like, he's got different names, right? Like different accounts. He has different identities in every way, shape, and form, different identities, right? So like, he is this right now, or he is this for a month and a half, and then he's someone else. He's got these layers of masks. He's got these multiple identities online. He may even have some weird AI shit going on where it's like kind of a picture of him, but like an AI type of picture of him. And he's using some of the letters from his name, but like other things, not so much. It's like, oh my God, what, why? Okay, why? Bottom line is, with a person like this, we don't ever ask why or try to figure it out. You just run, okay? You just run. And it feels like if he has decided to become unstable or in, what is this? Inconsistent, and according to your relationship guide, like pull some bullshit, you may want to take that as a blessing. Okay. First red flag is always the last red flag, period, point blank, because this is a sign of deliberate inconsistency. This is something that is strategically happening to create a cat and mouse effect. Okay. The last guy who did this to me was dumped immediately. Never heard from me again. Came back crawling a year later. Why did you do that thing? You know, why did you do that thing? That was stupid, huh? Yep. And click again. Okay. Like, I'm not putting up with it. If I even smell this in someone's personality, it is the biggest red flag. This is a manipulator. This is someone who has low self-esteem. This is someone who sees women as objects, not people. This is someone who will drain you. This is someone who will gaslight you. This is the least of it. This is the beginning of a whole series of manipulative, creepy ass techniques that they use to drain and siphon. They're vampires. Okay. And I think it's psychopathic. I mean, or sociopathic at least. I mean, I think there's something else there. And of course, I can't prescribe or diagnose. But people who do this tend to have mental problems. And it is a run for the hills. So you were given a gift in seeing this red flag. The karmic test here, the bigger karmic lesson here. What is the lesson? What is the bigger picture? We always want to ask this every day with everything, right? Is that you now have an opportunity to prove to the universe that you've learned your lessons in the past and you're going to be quick about exiting. That's it. Okay. Interesting. All right. Thank you, Mackenzie. Let's move on. Next up is Josie C6772. Josie C. Hi, Ivy. What do my guides have to say about my soul purpose in this lifetime, and am I in alignment? Well, that is a big question, way too big for a show like this, because what you're actually asking about is not like information your guides hold. You hold it in your higher mind, but it's part of your life contract. So I do life contract readings and they take an hour, and I usually have spillover. Okay. I'm jamming it into an hour. So this is a very complex question. A life contract is what you signed on to before you came to Earth. All the agreements that you made with your higher mind to accomplish certain tasks, complete certain contracts, learn specific lessons. It is identical, and I've been testing it out for probably 17 years with a good numerology chart, a solid Vedic or Western astrology chart. They're all the same. So it's what you agreed to do. Okay. Where you are right now, and all your guides are doing, your deceased pets, your ancestors, your loved ones that have passed, your angels, signs from the universe, all they're ever trying to do is to get you to stay within your life contract, to do the healing you need to do the work, to get things done, because everything in there is on a deadline. So you don't have to reincarnate and do it all over again. So it's not just your guides that are on that page. Everything and everyone in the universe, when they come in to communicate with you, are just trying to get you to fulfill this. Okay. So I think that ultimately you have, in the last couple years, literally couple, like 2 in particular, like right up to almost the deadline. If we were to measure out from where you are right now back to, it's almost like that's where it is. You would have started to be more willing to deprogram, reprogram, get rid of things that no longer serve you, move out from doing certain types of work that you had obligated yourself to do, relationships that were draining you, but they really were none of your business to be continuously investing in. And you are now entering into, so if we were to say that was a detox phase, most detox phases do last 2 years. I think that's what I'm probably looking at. Now, what you're entering into now is the eye-opening phase. So usually have about a year of this where like light bulbs are going to be turning on your head. You're going to have realizations about who you are, why you came to Earth, what you're here to build. You'd be bold in building it, even if it doesn't necessarily match what you were previously building or planning to build. And, you know, you're going to collect this information for about a year, and then you have 2 years to build. Everybody gets the same amount. So after that, you're going to be creating this whole new thing. So right now you're probably feeling like out with the old, the remnants of what was. I'm recuperating my energy because that's exhausting work to detox. You're figuring out more about who you really are, what you're here to do. I think one of the things you're supposed to be looking at this stage in your life contract is healing others through speech, in particular, helping other people to feel empowered so that like you're not their healer, so that they're not constantly coming to you, but they know they have the power within them. You may be giving them the tools, but you're showing them how to pick up those tools, encouraging them to use those tools. And, you know, you're pulling away from systems that are toxic and maybe corporate and, you know, anyone and anything that is essentially unwilling to stand on its own 2 feet is disempowering, okay, to the world, to others. And you're saying, I don't want to have anything to do with that anymore. So I think that's where you need to focus. I also think you need to spend less time maybe looking at relationships and other people and groups and communities and systems and saying like, I wish I was part of that. I'm not really sure where I fit. Where do I fit? It's almost like, forget it. I mean, it's not even that important. I understand that as humans, we are animals of social nature, but that's really been pushed so hard for so many hundreds of years by toxic societal structures and systems that aren't real. They're not real. It's not really important. You know, you ever see the guy like, went up, lived in the mountains like a goat, you know what I mean? He's got this long beard and he living like a gnome, you know, and he just like is actually doing well. And it's like, he never really deals with people, or rarely. You ever see these tribes, okay, who keep to themselves? You ever see people who just reach a certain point of evolution where it's like, romance? Are you joking? It's like, you know, needing to be part of a friend group. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just kind of, it's just a drain. It's a waste. It's silly, right? It's very high school, or it's very like middle school. It's very in your past. It's below you. You're evolving. And so you can have the programming still in your head that makes you ask these questions. Where do I belong? How do I get more of this? Da, 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 da. Okay. But I think that's the next step in letting go and just allowing yourself to just be, you know, authentically who you are. Okay. Thank you, Josie. Great question. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Maraid says, I really enjoy my time with Nate, and I am starting to feel more safe in the relationship with him, being consistent, but I catch myself worrying about him leaving. How can I stop those thoughts? Okay. So when I go over here with your relationship guide, your joy guide watches over your mental and emotional well-being. You have some past life stuff coming up here. So we've also got a little bit of news here from your Akashic, but I don't feel like your Akashic needs to full on step in on this. If you want to tap into it more, your Akashic is always waiting with the record. Okay. But I do think that this is past life for you. And that can mean that you need to do a little bit of deep dive digging into how from your childhood, because when it's past life, you're always born right back into it again. Right? When it's past life and it's part of this new life contract, it's like, okay, I'm going to be from birth, even from the pregnancy, you're already in it. You're already in that problem again. Okay. And then you got to work your way out. So I think that if you were to just look back at even childhood and you were to catch all the areas, all the spots, as far as you know, where you were abandoned, neglected, abused, you release these, you create like a list of them, and then create, and I feel like I'm choking as I'm saying this, like releasing ceremony for each one. And it looks like it affects your throat chakra. So you may have also learned to cope with this, not deal with this, but cope with this through the throat chakra, which is going to mean you either have chosen to use your words as weapons, you have chosen to use your words as maybe punishment, you may choose to use your speech or lack thereof as a shield and protection. So this could look like behaviors with you when you're triggered and you fear abandonment with people as like, I'm going to detach, I'm going to ghost, I'm going to disappear, or I'm going to lash out at you, or I'm going to try to force you, coerce you, into some type of submission. This could also be attracting people who do that to you. Take it out, resonates. Anyways, there's a whole cycle here. So it usually goes both ways. And you are coming out of that and feeling very like what Nate does in your contract with him is he literally hits you up right in the throat chakra. He somehow forces you to speak your truth. This shit has got to be uncomfortable. There's no way you're not like, and just wanting to freaking hide sometimes. Like, okay, call me in 3 days. Okay, I'll be back eventually. You know what? And hey, maybe that is how it feels. Maybe it is embarrassing or triggering, or I feel exposed or vulnerable. Perfect. Perfect. That gross shit, okay, that is exactly what you need for something karmic like this. So what you need to do is to make sure that when it hits and you're like, I really can't deal with this. I really can't. I want to run. I want to hide. I'm crawling out of my skin, or I want to lash out, whatever it is. You may need to say, wow, I'm feeling some things, and I think I need to take a couple days to process this. And then go, if you need to, into your hidey hole and adult, okay? And transmute and alchemize, because this is the good shit. This is what you've been waiting for. This is what we're all waiting for. And we don't want to take an opportunity like that and act like a little baby, okay? Or decide that you're going to quit or that you can't. Now, this can also be happening with him. And so it's going to be important when he is going through that, you know, and you can't control him, but that he also sort of speaks up and processes and doesn't just run off and ghost and, you know, throw an adult temper tantrum. Because in a relationship dynamic like this, it's going to be triggering for both people in different ways. It's karmic. It's about lessons. It's about growth. It's very easy to resent the other person for triggering that in you, but it's also undeniable that this is clearly here for support, okay? Or it wouldn't be happening. I hope that helps. I forgot even what the hell the question was. I don't know. I hope it didn't go off on a tangent on something else. I hope that made some sense. I got lost somewhere, but I think you're going to do great with it, okay? And he is safe. I'm just going to wrap it up with that message. He is safe for you to do this with, because it's not really even about him. You know, he's not coming to attack you in any way, but it's not even really about him and whether or not, you know, is he a safe person? Is he safe? No human is safe. You're not safe. I'm not safe. We're not safe within ourselves. We have to monitor ourselves and be mindful of ourselves 24/7. We're just energy. No one is perfectly safe. Okay. So it's trusting yourself. That's where your safety comes from. Trusting myself that I can handle this. This is a real one. This is a little nuts. This is how they go. This is how they go. This is how contracted relationships go. Okay. This one's a value. All right. Thank you, Maraid. We're going to move on to another one. What do we have next? Okay. Anna Teresa is next. And she says, hi, does Spirit have any messages for me regarding work or relationships? Work or relationships? Anna Teresa. Okay. Anna Teresa, work or relationships. You do have, you guys, I want to go check on my cat real quick. Okay. Sorry. We're dealing with the smoke from the Canadian fires. I don't want her out there very long if I can manage to get her in. See, she knows because normally I would not see her until 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 10:40. So she knows. Yes, you went outside. You got a little bit of exercise. Okay. I love you. All right. So Esmeralda Marie Rivera is going to join us. Say hi. Oh, mama. Okay. Who are we with? Anna Teresa, work or relationships. So when I go over here with your work and money guide, the first thing that comes up is an opportunity. I would say right around the bend, or I'm hearing 3. Could it be 3 days? It could. I was feeling more like 3 weeks. But it feels like you're being offered something that could require more paperwork out of you. It could require more dotting the I's, crossing the T's. It could require more, filing or computer work, or, something where you're doing a lot of this, basically. That can also be symbolic of communications. And I think that your ability, too, because I actually got both psychically. So I would say maybe it's an upgrade in regards to the communication work that you could be doing. But in addition to it, it requires that there's a lot of like filing, written words. Now, when I go over here with relationships, it feels like there's someone who's trying to, your relationship guide said slide into your DMs and showed it like a baseball player. Like sliding into home base, like sliding into, you know what I mean? And then I watched the Savannah Bananas. I don't know, you guys ever watch them? I'm from Savannah, Georgia, and they're so freaking cute. But it's like I'm seeing almost like a Savannah banana kind of sliding in and like getting up and doing a little dance, like being hilarious. I feel like you have someone trying to slide in here and be like, it's almost like I've been watching you. Okay, I've been watching you. They're saying something to you that's very charming. It's very like, you can't say no. Okay, it's like, how could I say no to that? How could I say no to that? Just the delivery alone deserves my time, right? So it's like, even if you're not feeling it, because I do get this impression that you're like, oh, whatever. But I think that you could find yourself being very flattered. I think that clearly looking at even both of these messages, we could say that there's a higher desire coming in for you. Okay, so there are situations and, people and systems that want more of your time, attention, energy, affection, skill set, words. Okay, and you should be, I feel like feeding it. I really do. I mean, I don't see any red flags here. I just feel like it's important to know that when you're dealing with people, especially if it's like a dating situation, you're not taking it too seriously. It's not like I'm not looking at him and I'm like, could I be his wife? Could we cohabitate? Should we breed? Like, is there something more here? Like, is this meant to be monogamous? Is he the one? It's like, who cares? I mean, try to stay out of that. You know what I mean? When you see Savannah Banana coming into home base like this, you know what I mean? And like charming you and sliding into your DMs and being like, oh, I mean, it kind of tells me right off the bat, probably not. He's a little too good at this. But could I have a good time? Could this be fun? Is this what I need? Could this even be a meaningful friendship? 100%, 100%. So I think it's time to have a good time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And learn to roll with that a little more. It can also suggest that you've struggled in that area, because like, why are you attracting that at this particular time, right? If maybe you do want something more, maybe you need to learn how to do this, maybe you need to learn how to play a little bit more, play ball, right? I love this. Thank you, Anna Teresa. We're going to move on to another one. Hi, silly. I see you. I see you. She's rolling around. She knows this smoke is not safe. She knows. There's no way she just came right in. All right, Manny said, okay, well said. Thank you, Ivy. You're welcome, Manny. Sending you some healing on that. Next up is Mackenzie. Oh, Mackenzie's giving feedback. Okay, so I already read Mackenzie. Mackenzie says, I'd be okay if I never heard from him again. I kind of felt like he love bombed me, but he swore he's not. Well, why would you ask him that, right? And then like how, I mean, and now I'll be ignoring him. Thank you, Ivy. You're welcome. they have to love bomb in order to have something to pull away. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the first step in the method, right? And it is a method. Psychos, real psychos. They need therapy. Okay, lots and lots and lots of therapy. All right, thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Deborah Rose. Okay, Deborah Rose says, I would like to know how to feel better. I know you're not a doctor, but I can take it with a grain of salt. Okay, and nothing specific. So I have to do no, you can't go back outside now. You're going to have to wait a little while. Oh my God. That's not for you. Stop. Just trying to cut me. Here, you can have one piece. You can have one piece. The cat ate my homework. There you go. You can have that. Oh boy. I know, Mama. It's hard. I know. Okay, so Deborah Rose wants to feel better. I don't have anything specific. You hear her tearing this shit up? Better that than my arm. How can she feel better? Something's going on down here. And yes, I can't prescribe or diagnose. Something's going on down here that seems to like, almost like, God bless you, heavens to Betsy. It's like it's affecting everything else. And so we could be talking about hormones. We could also be talking about, the reproductive system in general, but also anything with like the intestines, the organs. All of these things are really filtration systems. Okay. That whole section is a filtration system. Different parts, same thing is going on. So what comes up is that you could work more on your filtration systems. You could work more or more efficiently, better, okay, by bringing in things that strengthen these systems. Now that could look like a combination of juicing. I'm seeing things that are like very potent, like we dismiss how strong things like raspberries are. Blueberries, blackberries, but in particular, I'm getting red berries, cherries, pomegranates. Okay, you may also be given something that, I don't know if this is a naturopath, if you're talking to a naturopath, but, you may be given something like turmeric or ginger or, that in a combination of, it's almost like I heard beet juice, but I was going to say, oh, okay, beet juice. Okay, but I was going to say like green juice with like lemon in it, and things like this. You may need to start, taking things to sort of activate. And ultimately, that's going to, spread everywhere else. So I think that if you're feeling as though you're sluggish, dealing with any kind of like inflammation, you're dealing with heaviness, fogginess in the head, or just even a feeling of, and I would say some days it's really both, a feeling of heaviness, almost like I got a monkey on my back or bricks on my shoulders. It's like I'm heavy, I'm feeling heavy. It's that we can really get in check maybe first, or that's the most important part to you, even if you wouldn't necessarily describe it that way, because what your higher mind wants is like more mobility, more high level energy, more clarity, stop. Hey, be nice. Let go of that. Be nice to me. Chuck her back outside in a minute here. She can't behave herself. I'm not in the mood. I have problems too, what was I saying? It's like you need to be in an energy that you love. Okay? The goal is to get to an energy that you love, not to have everything perfect with your health and your entire body, but to get into an energy, a mindset, a vibe that you love. Okay, that you're working from, that feels like juicy. Okay, not like a dried up desert of sadness. It's like you're so done with it, and I think you're this close to feeling better or having a lot of solutions, but they feel out of the norm. I just don't see like, oh, and I'm not saying the medical field isn't helping you, but I don't get the sense of like, I'm going to get this tested and I'm going to get this blood work and I'm going to get this medication, this prescription, and I'm going to just go into this machine and I'm going to get answers. No, it feels more like you're talking to people who deal with energetic things or natural things or organic things, from juicing to herbs to alternative medicine, holistic healing, and that's where it's at for you. So it's there. But go get it. Okay. Keep going. Thank you, Deborah. We're going to move on to another one. Where did she go? I'm afraid she'll creep up on me and freaking attack me from behind. CJG, this is number 2 for CJG. Could you give me a message from my dad, IGG, please? Okay. Dad, are you here for CJG? CJG. Message from Dad. Giving you red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it out, resonates. Said he's visiting you in 2 dreams. This hasn't happened yet, but I wouldn't doubt if one happens tonight or tomorrow, and then the other one almost like a sequel or a part 2. Okay, I think, or you wake up and then you go back to sleep and it happens again. That's almost impossible to have happen. You know how hard that is to do? Like, it's very rare. Okay, very rare. Okay. Music, I'm sending you music. I don't know if this is blues or jazz, but it feels very smooth. I almost feel like, oh, am I, there's a cat like with a hat on and a cigar and a scotch. You said you're a smooth cat. You're a smooth cat. I feel like you're tapping into, I'm not saying you're getting old, okay, but I feel like you're tapping into this more mature energy, especially in regards to like your music, your lifestyle, what you consider fun, what is unwinding to you, okay? Maybe you're like, I know I'm old when I'm listening to my dad's music, and now you're like, I get it, right? I'm hearing Sade. I don't know if he's teasing you or what, but it's like, you're getting very, a little bit slowing down, a little smoother, a little bit more into like, I just want my peace and quiet, my feet up, okay, and a glass of wine or something, and some jazz in the background. Like, it's very and to turn my phone off, okay, and to not be bothered by these people here. So like, if you have a lot of shared space, you're living with, whether these are like kids or just bothered by a lot of people all the time, God bless them. God bless you. It's constant intervention. You may feel like you're at a point in your life too, he said, where it's like, I'm just trying to, can I just have a thought? Can I just have something? Can I just have a feeling? Can I just fully go through an emotion? Can I just have a moment? And it's like, no, because there's constantly, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, like somebody or something needing something from you. And it's like, you're reaching a point where you're like, you know what? I'm going to have to take it. I'm going to have to just take it, meaning not help them, but create a space for yourself where you can fully have a thought, where you can complete a feeling, where you can allow a storyline within you, to be told. It's not about meditation, and it's, not about permanently, shutting everything down at a specific time, or, for an extended time even. It's just knowing that when something is important for you to think, or something is important for you to feel, or you're getting a psychic hit, or your ear was just ringing and you're getting a download, or you want to spend more time having a slow morning, it's like you're taking it. In those moments, you're taking it and you are fiercely guarding it. And know that in those moments, he says, those are the moments when you're attacked the most. That's when somebody needs something absurd from you and they must have it right now, coming at you, because it's a test. It's a test. Okay. So you're basically growing up. You're not getting old, but you're growing up. You're entering into, and he's very proud of you for this sort of phase of maturity, that's all about your peace and harmony and not wanting chaos. And if you had trouble in the past being in environments or with people in relationships or in situations that felt a little too calm, like it's boring, it's agitating me, right? I can't relax in this. Like I need more. You're growing out of it. And part of that, the next step in all of that is knowing how to say, nope, I don't hear you. I don't see you. Not right now. I'll be back in a minute. But not right now. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Did you bring these over here? Okay. Oh, I love you. So, he loves you very much. I feel like you're essentially learning how to, in a more mature manner, stay centered, guard your peace, okay, and stay in your energy instead of like in everyone else's demands out here. And so something very personal about, like, I don't know if you have his stuff on your mantle, but I feel like I'm going in the living room is slightly to the left. Holy shit. So over to the left, there could be like, a photograph and some other things of his. There's also maternal energies over here and here. But it's like, he really just wants you to pay attention to the ear ringing. Like your mediumship is activating. He rings your left ear. Okay. So the tinnitus, the grandmothers used to say left for love and right for spite. And that was fairly accurate. It's the left ear for mediumship. So he rings your ear and he puts thoughts in your head, songs in your head. Okay. Answers, solutions in your head. He loves you very much. Thank you, CJG. We're going to move on to another one. Susanna Cruz. Susanna Cruz says, a couple months ago, I ended my relationship with my boyfriend, Jose. He showed up at my work with flowers, and I was furious, but I accepted it. My fault. I tried everything to end it. What can I do? But accepted it. My fault. Am I reading that wrong? He showed up at my work with flowers and I was furious, but accepted it. My fault. Okay, I tried everything to end it. What can I do? End it. What do you mean, what can you do? You end it. You cord cut. You tell him to kick rocks. You go no contact. And if he sends you something else or tries to contact you, you put it in a written word, no more, or you say it, you record that you said it. And if he does it again, you call the cops and you get a freaking restraining order because he's a psychopath. That's all. If he's going to keep crossing boundaries because you're letting him, that's on you. If he's going to keep crossing boundaries because you set clear boundaries and you meant it, that's on him. It's a choice. You made a choice, to tolerate him for many years. He now believes you'll do it forever. Prove him wrong, not to get his goat, but to prove to yourself that you have grown. That's it. It's a choice. It's self-respect. Do I choose someone else and I diminish myself, or do I choose me and I respect myself? It's a choice. Okay. So this isn't a psychic question. This is about self-control. Okay. Thank you, Susanna. And for anyone who needs to do a cord cutting, it can help take the edge off a little bit. Not that I think that's the biggest issue here, but there's a class up on my website called Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Let's see. Next up is Edgar. Edgar says, I plan to start giving professional psychic mediumship readings this year, like in the last quarter of 2026. Okay. Does Spirit have any messages for me regarding how this will go for me? Would be nice to to bring in a second income. Well, the first thing is we never, it's light work first, business second. So we never look at giving readings as something we want to make money off of. If you can manage to do that, and most readers can't, if you can manage to do that, it will provide for you and you'll not have to worry about money again, quite possibly. Okay. But thank you for the hearts on TikTok. But, you know, and I know you're training here at the Academy. Here at the Academy, it's light work first, business second. So we don't come at it like I need a stream of income, or you will not only lose all your abilities, Spirit will cut you off and it'll deteriorate and you won't make a penny off of it. Okay. Because you were trained up here at the Academy to be a light worker, not a street psychic, not a card flipper, not a, you know what I mean? An actual light worker. So keep that in check at all times. That's the absolute best thing that you can do. And the final quarter, okay, final quarter of the year, anything that he could do, well, it feels like you need to, and this could be annoying because you may feel like, okay, I did all this. Spirit told me to do this. Now I'm cooling my heels. You know, what's going on? Spirit's talking about setting up a web page or a website. And along with this is typically going to come, if you want to be smart about it, right, efficient with it, the barcode on maybe like a business card, or, you know, people need to be able to find you. So that's the first thing that's coming up here. Make sure that people are able to find you. This is great advice, because a lot of even my students who do incredibly well and could do so much more, you know, they graduate, they get certified, They never create a page. They never create any way for people to find them and really access them. And they'll show up and they'll offer readings, and that's amazing. That's truly, truly amazing. But, you know, if this is something you want to do, you need to also look at it from a business perspective, not necessarily because it's like money, but because how the hell are people going to find you? Okay. There's going to need to be something concrete that you maintain. And even if you feel like, well, it's not getting any traction, you know, you can't even really find it in a normal Google search, like what's taking so long, you know, it's something you're just going to have to keep pushing for a while. So that's the first thing that they're talking about. Have a way to be found. And I think the other thing that you could be doing here is showing up more on what feels like live streams. So if you have any insecurity over like being filmed, you may want to get over that now. It doesn't really matter anyways, though. I mean, like, you know, you don't have to be comfortable with it to show up. You just have to turn the camera on. So I think you'll do great. I just think that you being able to be seen, like if they can see your face, if you were to also pick up something like tarot later on down the road, or if you already do, it's almost like showing your hands and the cards. If they can see you, okay, the hands, or they can see the face and hear your voice, people are going to be drawn in. I heard like bees to honey, because there's a trust factor there. Okay, so I don't even think it, I think like Spirit's saying it's a trust factor. Psychically, what I think people are looking at from the outside is that there's something different about you. I think what they're trusting is that you're going to channel something. They don't know what you're going to channel, but you're going to channel something. You have a presentation about you, an energetic, it's almost like framework, you know, that says, I'm different. I'm tuned in. I'm connected. Yeah. So that's all it's going to take. Okay. And, right? I think so. I think it'll go really well. Okay, Edgar, have fun with it. Do you want to chase? No. She does. Okay, we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Thank you so much. Get it. Get it, mama. Susanna Cruz giving feedback. She said, thank you. I need to do the cord cutting and put my damn foot down and respect myself. I allowed this to happen way too long. Well, for sure. And he'll freaking do this shit for the rest of your life. You want to do this for the rest of your life or no? You don't or no? I mean, it's a choice. That's all. Okay. It's a choice. Okay. Hang out with people who have strong cutoff game too. Okay, who just like are good at this. If you're not surrounded by a bunch of people with strong cutoff game, get around them, watch their videos, learn how they do it. and mimic. Fake it till you make it. Tiffany Williams says, I'm asking Grandma V, was I supposed to get money from your estate when you passed? Yes. Let me see if she has anything else to say with that. I'm sorry, I lost her first name. Oh, Tiffany, thank you. Okay. What happened here? There's like an older guy. There's a guy involved in this. Moving stuff around, cutting people off. Something about a wall over here. There's rearrangement of some type of like file or something. Okay. I think that ultimately this may have been very hard to find because of all this that went on. Okay. And it may have been hard to prove. There may have also been 2 other females involved in this. And so it's like too many cooks in the kitchen or too many hands in the pot, she said. And then what ends up happening is that even if you know, or you suspect, or you've directly asked, you're not getting a truthful answer because you can't prove it. Okay. And people seem to be really confident in that things are done in such a way that it's almost like you're being treated as very insignificant here, or like this is an insignificant amount. And I don't think $30 is an insignificant amount. Okay. So, and it certainly was more than that, So the bottom line is that certain people in the family, the younger people in particular, may have been treated as very insignificant. And there could have also been an attitude of like, well, they'll get something else, or they'll get a cut of something, don't do that, please. Oh, yes, you could play with that. And like that also never happened. Okay. So it's very possible that some people who were, you could play with that, mama, who were in a position of power, made decisions about what was of value and what wasn't. Okay. And just sort of took everything. Could have also been someone there, and I'm wondering if I'm looking at the same guy I saw earlier, but who has some drug and alcohol abuse issues and mental health issues. He's very like, just very greedy, very greedy. Yes, I know. Ow, please don't. Please don't. I love you. All right, she's dying to go back outside. Yeah, that's what that looks like, Tiffany. Okay. I think she's going to be talking to you about it a little bit more. I would expect to see her in a dream coming up here soon, probably in ballpark 3 days, but like within a week. And something about a song on the radio or some kind of, I think this probably comes after the dream, but it's like closure. She wants you to have closure. Okay. Also, be careful stirring the pot, because it's very tough to bring things like this up, bring them up again and bring them up again and bring them, you know what I mean? Where it goes nowhere. And it's like, for what? Like, what's going to be proven? Again, I feel like this is very hard to prove. Okay. So it could just cause conflict, and bringing it up. And I mean, it's up to you, one way or another, but she wants you to have some closure on this. But yes, she did set it up so that you would 100%. Thank you. Sorry to hear that. And we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Mackenzie Mooser. So this is a second one for Mackenzie. Tonight is unlimited, you guys, so you can ask as many questions as you want. Do include the first name or the nickname of whoever you're referring to, deceased pets, loved ones, ancestors, guides, angels, anything goes. Or you can just sit back and receive a message. If you want to do this privately or gift this to someone else, you can go onto my website, IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com, and click on Spirit Message, or book a full reading there anytime. If everyone could please give this video a thumbs up. Okay, if you are on YouTube, please hype it. Drop a comment letting me know where you're tuning in from. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I appreciate you. We are going to move on to Mackenzie. Mackenzie Mooser, any messages from Spirit concerning my 3-day camping trip I'm leaving for tomorrow? It's funny because they showed you, and you have grandmother energy coming in here also. I feel like I'm going back a generation, so I feel like I'm going great grandma. So she may have, I'm not saying she camped a lot, I mean, but like she said life was camping. I'm not saying she lived in the woods or was a farmer either necessarily, but there is this sense of like life is kind of camping. Like there's a lot of stuff outside that has to be done. I'm doing it or it's not getting done at all. You know, it's like she was always in nature. I think she grew her own food. I mean, I love it. They, you know, they did this. It was so much better. She's happy to see you doing this. And she's keeping an eye on you. I feel like you have another grandmother, but this more like feels like first generation or closer to you. Take it out resonates. Coming in here who is talking about purple flowers, little purple flowers. So she may be sending these to you and very fragrant. Almost reminds me of lilacs. So I feel like I'm smelling lilacs. The image that they were originally giving was of you like a butterfly and going up in a tree. And then the butterfly turned into a raccoon, like watching you from the top of a tree. So I think you may have some interesting experiences where, let's say you're doing like a campfire and everyone's gone to bed, right? You're just sort of like with the trees. It's like me in the trees and you're looking up and it's like, I'm up in this tree and you're setting yourself free and you're having some type of connection, you know, with the universe, a meditational experience, a breakthrough. And then, it feels like on another night, there really does appear to be an actual raccoon like looking at you. So I think that will be them. I think funny. It's funny. It's also, you know, scary like for you, like I better stay up there and not eat all my hot dogs or something, you know. But I think that ultimately you're having a lot of fun. There could be 3 other people involved in this where it's like being playful, being childlike, and releasing a lot. So if you've been going through a lot and you're just feeling a little like pent up, like nervous energy or almost like, I don't want to say frantic energy, but it's almost like hyper or like very active thoughts, this just slows you right down. And it's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful experience. You also have a gentleman coming through paternal energy who says a white bird or a white, I saw a white dove in the night, and that, I mean, I'm doubting that's a real thing. I don't spend a ton of time in the woods, but a white dove in the night, Could it be an owl? I don't want to color it, but you know, it does seem like a white dove in the night, a white bird in the night. Okay, coming. So you're going to be getting some visits as well. Something about roll the dice. I don't know if you guys are playing games. This is fun. This is good for you. This is fun. Have fun. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, looks good. Also something about, I don't know if it's traffic or feeling like, just, you know, be mindful about what you're doing with your gas tank. Okay, we are going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Surprised that puzzle hasn't popped up on TikTok. I feel really weird about it at this point. I wonder if, did they eliminate that? Because it really doesn't seem necessary. Normally they shut me down though by now if I don't get up and do that puzzle. Hello. What's going on? Diana, you there? Did we lose her? Tiffany from TikTok said, thank you, Ivy. My mom took all the money from the estate and gave me Grandpa's car. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. Interesting. All right. And who else do we have? Carly Seislick. Carly Seislick is next. Carly Seislick. Carly. What message what spirit is coming through and what message do we have for Carly? Carly? Bingo. You have a lady coming through here who's like a lot of fun. I mean, she really is. She may have had some, I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but like COPD or a lung issue. Now, she may have smoked, or this could have been, you know, some type of cancerous condition. I mean, take it how it resonates, but it does feel like ultimately she would have had some problems here. She was sort of struggling a little bit, you know, in the end to deal with that. And she's saying, bingo, bingo. And so it's like, you know, like, I can see this being my future, you know. It's just like I'm in the casinos and I'm playing bingo and like I'm old as, you know, I'm old as dirt, but I don't care. Like I'm having a good time. I'm having some drinks, having a good time, smoke a pack of cigarettes, whatever it is, right? Keep the party going. She's hilarious. I think she has a way of being this perfect sort of combination of like a real grandma type of, you know, like a traditional grandma type of energy where like you can come and talk to me about anything. I'm the matriarch, you know, I'm an active listener. I have a lot of wisdom, but a little sometimes rough around the edges, you know, liking her good time. And I do think that your baby entering into, it's almost like becoming more of this yourself. You're entering into a period of time, you know, where you're saying like, basically, F it. Like, I don't really, you know, I'm going to go to the beach. I'm having some margaritas. Okay. I am kicking off my shoes and putting my toes in the sand. And I'm going to, I keep seeing this, I think it's a video of this woman floating, you know, like in the water, and she's got this guy with her, and he's like pulling her. He's like pulling her leg. He's just like, oh, you know, and she's just, it's like you're entering into this period of time where you're like, I don't care. Okay. Like whatever feels good, whatever makes me happy, whatever fills my cup. And she's like, ding, 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 bingo. Okay. Bingo. Now, quite literally, you may also want to play bingo at this time. We're going to scratch off bingo, but I also see poker. So maybe, okay, we're playing poker a little bit. Yeah, maybe. Okay, but I do think that this is about you realizing that the things you thought were so serious and that were always like putting pressure on you, right? Or you learned how to put pressure on yourself because of these systems, these ideas of things that were important and top priority, and you know, you had to have your attention pulled in 50 different directions all the time, and you had to, you know, be a martyr to these other people. And not anymore, not anymore. It's all about you. It's all about centering you. It's all about the sun shining on your face. It's all about you building up your immune system, you cleansing things out that drain you, and you just don't care. Okay. And she's just joking that she's now like, you know, even on the other side, like this happy ghost, like she shows like a ghost and she come through and being like, bingo in the night, you know, so you may like audibly hear her. You may see references like that. Okay. Also, she's trying to, whether it's the little ghost emoji on your phone or images of ghosts, she's just always trying to make you smile, trying to make you laugh, and trying to make you remember what's important in life, and that life always goes on, because no matter how bad things get, the next day the sun will rise and everyone will move on, and you should be doing the same. Okay. So don't take things too seriously. A ton of love to you. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Manny. This is question number 2 for Manny. Manny says, hi, Ivy. Could I get a message from Bob Valario, who has passed? Okay. Bob, are you here for Manny? Huh. It's like, you know, he's showing himself with some cards in his hand. It's like a red deck. I thought I had a deck just like this over here. It's like a red traditional like playing deck, right? And he's got one strong card, 3 of a suit, or 3 in a row, like 3, and then 2 others that aren't aren't very high. And he's acting like he's got everything he needs. He's acting like he's got everything he needs, because all he really has to do with this hand, even though it isn't that strong, is convince everyone else at the table that he's gonna win. And I feel like this is about you going through an episode recently. It feels like this already started, but where you're trying to play your hand wisely, you're trying to play your hand well. And he's handing you these cards and you're receiving, with your left hand. He's putting them out, power out, right hand, over to you. You're taking it with your left, your receiving side, and you're getting ready to play your hand, which is like exposing your cards. And once you expose, you can't really go back. So I feel like you're meticulously looking at a situation. This could be a contract. This could be, something that you feel contracted to. Take it out resonates, right? Whether it be family, it be actual money related, okay, it be a literal contract. You feel contracted to this situation. And it's like you're trying to be careful about what you say and what you do. Because if you make the wrong move, if you expose your hand too early, you could be vulnerable to rebuttal, okay, to some type of like attack, to them, winning and kind of getting an upper hand at things becoming chaotic. It can be hard to, win your money back, take your power back. So there's a lot of strategy going on here, but the bottom line is this. I think you have more power in life than you realize, because it isn't really about the cards that you hold. It's how you play them. It's the poker face that you wear. It's how you display, right, your energy, not the cards. And so you're coming into a period of time after a series of being tested in this area, coming into a period of time where you're recognizing this more about yourself, that you are energy and that you are almost like the king on the throne, okay, at rest with the sword at his side. You are the king on the throne. You're remembering who you are, the power that you hold, and that nothing and no one, no situation, even if you need it, even if you love them, okay, even if it could affect your resources, nothing is worth getting rattled over or losing your crown or falling off the throne for. Absolutely nothing, okay? And so you're finding this peace, this stillness, this inner power and calm, and you're just choosing to stay there, okay? And so you're going to win every single hand, because the only way you lose in life is if you fall off that throne. You lose your crown, okay? He's also, he's communicating through numbers. I keep seeing like 555, 666, like 222, like numbers, yes, but like literally sets of 3. Okay, so he's communicating with you through numbers, which are always directional. They're telling you what to do next or how to think or what to do. Okay, so learn the numerology there. But he showed owl eyes. And I don't know if you've been seeing eyes like in your room or 3 to 5:30 in the morning, the haunting hour, you're seeing eyes, or it's like you close your eyes and you're seeing eyes. But he's showing like owl eyes. He's showing owl eyes, like watching you. Also, just be mindful, because an owl can, it can represent wisdom. It can also represent, hi. It can also represent, just need to be careful. Okay, just a little warning, a little watchful of who and what is around you, being strategic. Okay, and I think he's going to be showing up as owls as well. He loves owls. I don't know too if you have a grandmother like owls made out of shells, an owl made out of shells, or if that's for somebody else coming through. But for anyone who has like little owl figurines made out of shells, hello. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, bye. Okay, let's move on to another one. Next up is Jillian Corbin. Jillian said, I believe my grandmother on my mom's side wanted to tell me a list of things. Could you please let me know what she'd like to tell me or to know? Okay, so I don't have a name, but we're going with grandma, first generation, mom's side for Jillian. Do you have a list of things you wanted to tell Jillian? Okay, grandma. She said it's not really a list. She said it's 3 things. And it feels like time has passed. So there may have been some things that were important. Say she came to you in a dream, or you had got a message from her or whatever, you know what I mean? And it was like, well, I have some things I want to say to you. You felt her trying to come through. It's like time has passed. So it's not necessarily that these things are super duper important anymore. But I think ultimately, you're such a good girl. I love you. I think ultimately, these are things that are for you to know and understand about how you relate to the family, okay? And also how someone else has maybe caused heartache, division, a divide in the family. This could be a male who's kind of like out of control, and how to sort of manifest more peace and harmony, in your life in general. So let's break these down. I think that with the first thing, it's how to be with the family. First of all, you're not here to like caretake over the family. You're not here to be full on the matriarch. Be careful with feelings of, parentification or a desire to overreach or martyrdom, like just be careful. Be careful to also stay out of things like triangulation. She said, let everyone fight their own battles. Let everyone live their own lives. Let everyone be on their own path. Let everyone do that, like be themselves, There's a lot of that going on in the family that got very muddled, where people stopped even knowing how to think for themselves. It's like, well, who am I if I'm not so-and-so's brother, so-and-so's sister, or so-and-so's daughter? Who am I if I'm not that? And it's like, what do you mean? Like, okay. So there's this sense of a need for more self-discovery. Okay. And she's just reminding you, it's sort of like the way I'm always saying, don't forget, no one's an extension of you, not your kids, not your dog, not your spouse, not your parents, not your mom. You know what I mean? No one is an extension of you. So working on that is going to bring you a lot of salvation, she said, and happiness. Okay. Health, fulfillment, balance. The person in the family who seems to be causing some like out of control, or caused out of control through their out of control behavior, they caused a lot of problems, difficulties, things that couldn't be reversed. There's a lot that you could learn there from males in the family who did this, because a lot of times that damage is irreversible for generations, and they don't own it. They don't care to own it. They could have avoided it. They could have worked on themselves. It was totally preventable. But also on the flip side, those people who held space for it, who allowed them to behave that way, who enabled them, are just as guilty. Okay? And so there's a lot that you can learn from those toxic systems about life, about who you'll never be, or what you'll refuse in your own personal life. You know what I mean? Maybe you can't control a family, but you can control the next generation, or break, generational curses. And then she's also just talking about manifestation, like keep talking to me, and know that you could sort of manifest and create whatever you want. Okay. But it's like, yes, you could do that on your own, but also ask me for what you need. Okay. Ask me for what you need, because she's always watching. I feel like she sends you what you need before you even need it. Okay, so if you're ever like, oh my God, like how did that check just drop in the mail? Or like, why did that come to me? Or like, how did the universe know I needed this? She's also sending you a lot of oranges, like oranges, which can mean right now you need to increase your immune system or do some cleansing on stuff. Okay. I don't know too if you smell her, whether it's like her perfume or her powder or flowers associated with her. I'm getting a few different things here, but it's called Claire Augustine, the ability to smell phantom odors and taste phantom flavors that no one else does. She's using this with you. Okay. And 322 or 233, 323, 323. It's like you're waking up, you're looking at the clock. Okay. She's catching you through numbers. She loves you very much. All right, thank you. Does seem to be, I don't know, something with the family, and it feels like a male or somebody else. It's almost like take care of this or don't deal with this. But it's like, how do you take care of it and not deal with it at the same time? I don't know. There's some conflicting energy there. But I think that's back from when she was alive. She's not confused about it anymore. But there could have been a lot of that going on. Tug of war with people. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you, Grandma. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Deborah Rose. This is number 2 for Deborah Rose. She says, how to deal with Channel at work. She's relentless. Oh, Chanel. Okay. At work, she's relentless. Okay. How to deal with Chanel. Oh, God. This is why I don't go outside. Okay. She's the type of person who literally vampires thrives off of, right? Lives her whole life from other people's energy. And in the workplace, that comes through attention. So she's constantly saying things or doing things or starting things or suggesting that she's about to start or say do something, right? Just even the idea that she's about to is enough. She doesn't even have to do it. She now has everyone trained to such a degree, so much, that her just even thinking that she's about to do something or putting it out there into the ethers, everyone's like, protect my energy. Now, I don't think she's the only one there who uses manipulative tactics like this or is a vampire. So, not everyone is that affected, but you tend to be someone who isn't necessarily looking to vampire off of her in the same way she is with you. So you're strategizing at this point exits. You have as your best vet here a bunch of exit strategies in a little bag up your sleeve in your back pocket that you can pull out at any time. That's the smartest thing that you could do with someone like this. So she looks over at you and you're like, I'm not here anymore. I'm going over here, or I'm unavailable. You could also do something like, if this isn't allowed there, you do something like putting in earbuds and pretending that they're turned on. Okay. You're going to act crazy. I'm going to act crazier. You want to go there? You want to go low? I'll go to hell. Okay. You want to play this game? You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. All right. You're going to get nuts. Start acting. I mean, don't be shy when stuck in a situation like this, to up your crazy game. So I think that she's going to continue to deliberately try to sort of like rattle you. She thinks it's harmless. She thinks it's just like, I'm just joshing you. I'm just hazing you. I'm just joking. But, abusers also do that, well, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing you. Don't be so sensitive. It's all the same. It's all the same crap. So your exit strategies need to be in place. So here she comes. I walk away. Here she comes. I turn around. you know, she's saying something. The minute she gets the mic, I leave. I see her over here. I don't go over there. You know what I mean? There are a million different ways that you can prepare yourself, because the space is only so big and there are only so many events that occur over the course of a day. This isn't hard to figure out. You just need to have a prepared like list and order of how you're going to do this. Also treating her like she's invisible. So when you're at work, I don't see you, I don't hear you, you don't exist to me. I don't see you, I don't hear you, you don't exist to me. There is also a couple different shows that I have up here free on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium that I did in recent months on protection. I have another one coming up. It's called, like, I think Tools for Discernment or something, where I'll be touching on these in July or August. But you can go back through my search bars too and watch those. So they taught you how to block, how to bind, and how to reverse. Okay. And if you have to go that far, go that far. All right. She's deliberately annoying because she's a vampire. You know, I got someone like this in my circle right now who's doing like the 3rd apology tour that they've done in the last couple months, where they started shit with everybody. They upset everybody. They tried to upset everybody, but everyone just thought they were crazy. So it really didn't have an effect that they had hoped. But they started all this shit, and then they go around and they're apologizing. So we all just collected the other day. We all have this like 2-paragraph long copied and pasted, right, apology notice that she's sent out to like a whole bunch of people that she screwed with. And the reason, this is the 3rd time she's done this, you know, and it's like, some people are just unstable. That's it. Okay. They're unstable and they're always going to act this way. So all you can do is, you know, get rid of them, block them, right, and eliminate their ability to approach you at all by cutting off interaction with it. Exit strategies are key. Some people never grow up. And this individual who did this is quite old. So, you know, like when people choose to live a lifestyle like that, where they're going to vampire off of everyone constantly, you know, as they get older, their tools get weaker. And even in places like, you know, the work environment, they tend to start losing power and their behavior gets worse to compensate for the losses they're taking. It's pathetic. All right, we're going to move on. Thank you so much, Deborah Rose. We have another one coming in here from Abby H. Abby H says, any messages from my grandparents, Mill and Elv, like, okay, Mill and Elv. I've been restoring their home. I'm wondering what they have to say. Okay, wow. Yeah, you know, Grandma coming through, talking about the porch. Okay, first thing. So she called it the house. Okay, the house. And it seems like slamming door. So I don't know if there was a screen door and there isn't anymore. Maybe now there's like a nicer door, like a thicker wooden door, you know. But it seems like a porch. What's going on with the porch, the outside of the house? May have also been maybe rose bushes, maybe lilacs. I don't think they're all mixed in together. I think she's just showing it to me that way, where it's almost like the curve of the house. Like, I feel like if I'm looking at the front, I'm to the right and I'm at the curve. Okay, take that how it resonates. But it feels like right over there, I've got something like rose bushes. I feel like I have some lilacs. You could also be putting these in. A lot of butterflies. She's been sending a lot of monarchs, yellow ones. Okay, there's a lot of butterflies. The flooring. What do you think? Did she have like this aluminum flooring? I don't know if it was like flooring on flooring per se, but it does feel like something different with the floors. So the floors may have been a bit of a job. Yes. And they were used for efficiency. Okay. So they may have been not highly cosmetic. All right. It wasn't a big concern. Those floors were loved. They were walked on. They were treaded on. You know what I mean? There was a lot of busyness there. There were a lot of kids. There was a lot, you know, they had to hold up. And I don't feel like they were for the sake of, you know, beautification necessarily of the house. but I feel like that's what you're doing. You're whether it's restoring the wood or, you know, bringing back maybe tile, you know, something like this. Plumbing, the bathroom, the one bathroom, the toilet, and maybe another bathroom near the tub. But I feel like the toilet and the sink. There's something about water, the plumbing. Maybe the plumbing had to be dealt with maybe 3 times. He's mentioning the roof, the siding, and what feels like if I'm in the house to the left, up, something about the roof. So there could have been like leaking. Just that said, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. I thought I saw painting, but then I'm thinking I'm seeing peeling of wallpaper and then painting. Wow, they're watching like everything you do. There's a smell. What's that smell? It's like old people smell or old people house smell or old house smell. There's this sort of like, but it's home. It's calming. It's refreshing. It reminds you, you know, it reminds you of them or of maybe, you know, being a child or of being home. It just reminds you of being home. But it has like this place, okay, push 200 years here on this. This place has an old house smell in pockets, but it's like you may go like either upstairs. I'm looking at a wooden railing, you know, and it's like, here's a pocket of it. Like I just smell it. It's like this old weird house, but there's something nostalgic, you know, about it. And they're just joking that they're kind of haunting you a little bit, you know. So whether this is in this house if you're sleeping or if you have another house where you're sleeping, I feel like they're walking down a hallway, okay, and into your room, and then it gets very quiet, like you don't hear anything anymore, okay, and they're visiting you in dreams. But I think you're doing a brilliant job. I also think old pictures of them in beautiful frames up on walls, okay. Very cute, very, very nice. Thank you very much. We're going to move on. All right, who do we have next? How many more do we have? Diana. And next up is Bethany Renner. Bethany Renner. Okay. Bethany Renner. General message. Who and what is coming through for Bethany Renner? Bethany Renner. So it's almost like put your money where your mouth is, but it's more like put your money also away for whether it's, you know, a rainy day, or put your money away into like savings, or put your money away so that you feel like you have more security, but like put your money away. Okay, put your money away. I feel like this is mostly coming from your work and money guide, but you know, a gentleman also coming in here who may have been, I was going to say frugal, although, you know, sometimes he could have gotten accused of buying a lemon, or you spent money on what, or like this brand is trash, you know, this isn't working, this appliance is garbage, or like what, you know, and he's also coming in here making sure that the decisions you're making are the best decisions, and not just the best decisions for like right now, okay, but the best decisions for your long-term like financial health. And I think that you may also be looking at something like a vacation. So if you've been thinking, I want to take some money and invest it, and I like that way of thinking, because the way you vacation, the way you travel, the trips you take, these are investments. And, you know, I'm a firm believer that investing in experiences is priceless. Okay. It is never a waste. So you're looking at what you have and what you want to do or where you want to go. And this is, again, I mean, this also comes up. I mean, just the recent past, I wouldn't be surprised if these are things you've been dealing with in the last like 48 hours, 2 weeks. So there's talk of you wanting to take this trip or book it. And it's like, you know, almost a, should I be doing this? Can I be doing this? Can I get away? Or like, what does this look like for my long-term, like financial health and stuff like this? I feel like, yes, it is an investment. Okay. Absolutely. So just know they're supporting it. I also feel your finances increasing. And this could come through some work opportunities. And he takes all the money and puts it in jars, puts it in lids, and buries it in the yard. Now, I could have been something he did, but I also see money going in like stacks of cash in books and in basement walls and in attic walls, okay, like hidden. So whether he did this or his father did this, I feel like this was a practice. And they're just reminding you that it's an important time for you to take and sort of hide away, okay, what is yours, so that maybe it like doesn't get touched. You could also say this is an investment. So if you were to take a portion of this money that you're going to be, bringing in this extra and be like, this isn't going to bills, or this isn't going into my normal savings. Like, this is going to be invested. This is going to work for me. It's almost like every penny of it. Okay, screwing on this, and I'm burying it. I'm going to make sure that this is working for me. I think that this may be a wise time to do that. Okay, for the next 2 years, you're looking pretty successful here. Okay, in those areas. Thank you so much, Bethany. We're going to move on. Next one up is Wild Roots with Abby. Wild Roots. You saw the farmhouse. Oh, okay. So this is feedback for the reading I just gave to Abby, the house from her grandparents. She said, you saw the farmhouse built in 1840 by my great-grandparents. Many generations with snowball trees and lilacs everywhere, replacing the linoleum floors to original wood. It's like I'm psychic or something. And the bathroom is the next trip to New York. Okay, there you go. Deborah Rose said, LOL, I love this, Ivy. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for the testimonials. It always means so much, not just to me, but also like people watching the show, so they know I'm not just, I can sound like a lunatic as long as it is accurate. Okay, so that's amazing. I love that. So fun. It's such a gorgeous place too. I love what you're doing with it. I'm wanting to get into more of that restoration here. It's I'm addicted to getting these older homes. If you offered right now, to give me a shack from the 1600s or a brand new build on a couple acres of land, I would always go to the old one. Always. It's so worth it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Who else do we have coming in? Susanna Cruz 9904. Okay. Hi, Ivy. This is an embarrassing question from my mom, Nancy. She wants to know, okay, this is a reading for Nancy. So let's actually write Nancy. All right. Nancy, she wants to know if the prince named Faisal from Dubai truly loves her. I think she's being scammed. Okay. First of all, he's not from Dubai. Okay. So this is coming from Africa. And this is a combination of some scrawny guy and some very heavy older lady. Okay. This isn't even just one person. And he has almost like a lair with like multiple screens, multiple phones, multiple phone numbers, multiple accounts. This is an entire system. This is someone who does this professionally and works internationally. He's got people who have fallen for this from England to the Caribbean to the Americas. I mean, he's just got people all over who have fallen for this. Okay. And what he's looking for is money. So don't give him any. Okay. And don't talk to anyone else online. Make sure you're meeting them organically, or if you meet them online, you need to meet them organically within like maybe, you know, a day, a week. Okay. And if they can't do that, assume that they are scammers just like this. Okay. Thank you, Nancy. Be safe. It happens to all of us. All right. Let's move on. Who else do we have? Next up is Jillian Corbin. Jillian says, are there any messages from Tom, my stepdad, for my mom and I? We miss him so much. Thank you. We love you, Tom. Okay, Tom, stepdad, do you have anything for her and mom? Giving a red rose to mom. So when he steps in here, he's giving a red rose to mom, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. I also feel like he's giving one of these to you. I feel like he's also giving her a white rose, and he's pulling the thorns off, which is symbolic of not having a proper goodbye, there being a lack of closure. He may have gotten sick or there was some sign of his passing, but the passing ultimately feels quick, or again, like there's a lack of closure or not a proper goodbye. I also feel like he's not speaking. Okay, so the lungs before the passing. So he couldn't, whatever thoughts he was having, they weren't really coming out. He couldn't transfer them. He couldn't translate it. Okay. He's also, I feel like, I don't know, he was always kind of pulling up his pants. It's almost like my jeans or whatever. I'm like pulling up. I'm just tugging up. I'm just tugging up. I'm just tugging up. And he seems to have a uniform. It's like I'm always wearing the same things, whether it was like jeans and a t-shirt. It's like, you know, it feels casual, but it's kind of like different shades of the same outfit, you know. He was a comfortable guy. He liked to be comfortable. And he liked to do what was important. I loved hard. You know, I would work hard. And I also feel like he liked to play hard. And so it was, you know, not anything reckless, but like, let's splurge on life. Let's sit. Let's relax. Let's listen to the crickets. Let's look up at the moon. He loved the smell of, how the hell am I going to explain that? Outside at night air. He loved the smell of nature. He loved clean air. He liked being out in the country. Yeah. Okay. And the smell of rain. Okay. And you may smell that sometimes. Okay. Like an earthy smell, or like the night sky and rain that just happened, or like right after it rains. Where's my watch? Where's my ring? Where's my ring? Where's my watch? Okay, who got this? It's also a necklace. Now, I don't know if you guys have necklaces of him or from him. I didn't necessarily think he bought them, but maybe he did. Take it out resonates. There's talk of necklaces. I almost feel like matching necklaces, but these are like ashes or a locket, or it just feels like multiple necklaces. He said to your mom that, again, this red rose, birthday or anniversary, right around this time, passing anniversary or some, you know, some, or deep love. But he's talking about the movie Ghost and trying to come to visit. Okay, trying to come to visit, almost like Patrick Swayze in that movie had to learn how to move like pennies and mess with lights, and like he had to learn how to do all this stuff, right? Mediumship. He's definitely good at the mediumship part. I can hear him, like, I'm just babbling off whatever he's saying. Okay. There's like, he's not hard to hear. But he's working on things like flickering lights, putting on music, putting on for you, Jillian, TV shows or things in your algorithm. Okay. That will remind you of him. And pennies from heaven. Pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, tokens, sending you guys pennies from heaven. I feel like your mom needs to know that she took great care of him and he's forever grateful. And I don't want to like cry and like lose my shit on this one, but if one's going to break me, this is going to be it. I was this close. So it's like she took good care. She took such good care of me, and not like a child. Okay. Not like I was her child or I was her burden, but like we were friends and we took good care of each other. And she says that back, you know, like, you took good care of me too. Like, but she took such good care of me. I lived the best life, a full life, because of her. And he just wants her to know how appreciative he is and how beautiful she is. Okay. And he said you have his laugh, or you guys have the same humor. It's almost like intellectual humor, but it's sort of observational humor. And it's like, I don't know, something happens, you see something's going on, you just make a joke, and it's like hilarious. And the way you laugh, you light up a room. Okay. And he doesn't want you to ever lose that. And you carried the weight, like, after his passing, you carried the weight, a lot of weight for things. Okay, so this could have been also like his services and stuff like this, but I feel like, I don't know if there's a stepkid or two stepkids. I have a female and a male over here as well. But anyways, I feel like you carried the weight and you did an amazing job. All right. I feel like you and mom are getting closer. Okay. Even maybe if sometimes you feel like maybe she's, you know, a little hard to reach. But I feel like you and mom are getting closer. This brought you guys closer. He loves you guys so much. He's going to be visiting. I feel like mom may see him full body apparition, okay, in the house and then in a dream. So it goes like, first I'm seeing him right outside the bedroom door or at the bottom of the bed or something, like I'm in the bedroom. I know that. And it's just like right over there. And then in the dream, okay, and you're going to be also getting a song from him in the car. Earlier too, he was mentioning dropping feathers. Now, I don't know how he's getting all these in the house. Okay, but it seems like feathers showing up in the house. You may start wanting to collect the pennies and the feathers and create a little memorial area, okay, with these things from him. Thank you. He loves you guys very much. I'm sorry for your loss. We're going to move on. Susanna said, thank you, Ivy. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Pascal 1617. Pascal said, my question for the $15 total donation, that doesn't really work that way. Like, thank you for your donation. Regarding my current job, okay, is a technical advisor at a car dealership. Okay, so Pascal is a tech advisor at a car dealership. I don't like it, and I'm wondering if I should move on. I have opportunities in phone sales, at Walmart, and at a coffee shop. But I'm also wondering if there's another short-term or long-term career opportunity that's more aligned for me in the region where I live, and we weren't given the region. What's the region? Okay, or is anything coming? Okay. Regarding my career path or the best direction to take. Okay. So work for Pascal. Work for Pascal. What's within the life contract? So I'm just going to look at your life contract because that's the only thing that matters. What should he be doing? Yeah. I mean, the coffee shop is good, but comes through as very temporary. Now, here's the thing with sales and the coffee shop and your life contract that all look the same. And this is coming from your work and money guide, as well as your joy guide, who watches over your spiritual and self-development. You like to talk to people. You like to talk. You can be very convincing. You can, you know, some days, on a good day, sell catch a popsicle to a lady in white gloves. You know, on a bad day, you're meeting your quota, okay? But it's like always there. It's always there with you. And it's something you incorporated into your life contract. So you can book one of those at any time. It's up on my website, but it's essentially what you signed on to before you came to Earth. So you came here to do salesy type things, to do communicative things. It is fun for you. It is natural for you. And there's a lot of past life history of success there. So you have a lot of tools in your back pocket to work from. The thing is, it's getting a little bit old. And when you do something like working at a coffee shop, it could become that every interaction you're having is just annoying. It starts off good. You're like, oh, I got the regulars, you know, or whatever, you know, I know my coworkers, it's like pleasant, and then it could just sort of take a turn. And I think when you're doing something like sales, right, or teaching, or you know, this advisory thing, that also is starting to fall short, where it's like, this is starting to get on my nerves. Now, why is all that happening? Because you're not fulfilled. There is a lot of skill there. There's a lot of potential. Okay. There's a lot of past experience, but that does not equate to you feeling fulfilled. And bosses and managers and job opportunities, they'll always see that you have this skill and put you in a position like that. Still does not equate to you feeling fulfilled. That just means they know where the money is. They know that you can make that money for them. And I think that ultimately what you're supposed to be looking at right now, you know, is essentially any other areas where you want to learn something. So there's talk of certifications, education, research. You know, this could be title expansion for you. It seems like you want to be more creative, and it seems like you want to be more hands-on. So anything with like engineering, anything, you know, with mechanical, anything with carpentry, anything like working with my hands. I mean, I wouldn't even rule out things like, you know, plumbing necessarily. I mean, I don't think that's it. But, you know, anything where you're working with your hands, you're creating something. You have spent so many lifetimes, and you've spent so much time in this life talking things into reality, that you have now an almost imbalance where you want to make things, okay, and create objects, okay, bringing it into reality. This could also be artwork. This could also be, you know, you're feeling like you want to lean into, you know, more musical guitars and whatnot. Now, that isn't necessarily where your paycheck is going to come from as far as the art is concerned, but we are able to make money and support ourselves and bring in resources and networking by doing the things we love that are in alignment with our life contract. And for you, creativity and fulfillment is the key right now. So anything you do that fulfills you is going to bring in more opportunity and money. So it's up to you what you take as far as these other jobs are concerned. But ultimately, it feels like you're wanting to get into something more hands-on. Now, there could be opportunities for you to do that within your region, but you're not really looking there, or you're not catching it. I would look online. I would look wherever listings go. And some of them may provide any training that you need, and some of them may not even fully require it, okay? Or you could go off and get it. So I would start looking there, but it feels like anything you're doing that's kind of going back over old ground, you already did that in previous lives. You're doing it again in this life. You can't keep going over old ground just because you have a skill there. We need to look at your life contract and see what is going to be fulfilling for you, okay? And don't be convinced by what's being offered to you by these outsiders, by these managers and these CEOs and these business owners. Don't be convinced by them that you should take those jobs, because all they know is that you're the workhorse who can make the money in that area. That doesn't make it part of your life contract. Okay, so we need to be a little more careful about redoing. Thank you, Pascal. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Okay, Edgar. This is another one for Edgar. Thank you so much, Edgar. Edgar said, I plan to start giving... We did this one. Yeah, we did this one, Diana. Okay, this one. Okay, so we are still with Edgar, but it's another one. Okay, so Edgar says, while I'm away on vacation, I had a dream today of Jennifer and often smell her scent around me. I wanted to ask Spirit, why am I thinking of her so often? I'm trying to let it go. Okay. Well, you know, this is a contracted relationship. And when you have a contracted relationship, they can haunt your ass your entire life. you have to be in control of it. We are not taught about these types of relationships and the very intense dynamics by our parents, or, you know, by educators, or in the mental health field, or, I mean, we don't talk about these things because we have been brought up in patriarchal societies, religious, you know, with religious structure, and they want you to, you know, find one person to marry until death do us part. So, you know, these things aren't discussed, and there's no realistic, you know, system that you've been raised on that is identified by the universe as valuable in any way. And you're learning it, I don't want to say for the first time, because I think you've had other people in your life who you've contracts with, but this may be maybe the first intense romantic one. And those tend to outrank everything else. They tend to just take over and overwhelm. But I think you're learning it. You're learning the nature of it. You're learning the energy. You're learning the sort of obsessive potential that it has. And all you can really do when that's happening is observe, identify, and accept. Now, you are trying to release, okay? So there's no shoving it down. There's no acting like it didn't just happen. Right? You're smelling her, you're connected to her, whether it's telepathic, it's through astral travel, it's through clear empathy, whatever, right? There's a contract, therefore there are cords, and through cords come the connection. So you're feeling this connection to her, and you can't deny it. That's not going to be productive. So I think at this stage, it's just really identifying it, accepting it. And then if what you choose to do with it after that is just let it go, then you need to come up with a visual of like, that's interesting. There she is again. I'm honoring that. I like to say that it's okay for us to have ghosts in our life. It's okay for us to have living people that we are closely connected to but can't be with in the way that we want, or at all sometimes, and they are like a ghost in our life, and that's okay. Okay, so you're acknowledging it and you're releasing it. I'm releasing it. There she is again. Off she goes. And that's it. And put your attention on something else. What you don't want to do is like ruminate, get sucked in, and then be like, oh, why? Is there something bigger? Is there something bigger? Not necessarily. I mean, sometimes there is something bigger, but what would the something bigger be? Well, I mean, probably just that she's thinking about you. And so she's tugging and pulling at that cord. And when the other person you have a contract with, you know, tugs and pulls at the cord, they're thinking of you, or they're missing you, right? And you automatically read it like a signal, or like your phone just rang, and you're responding to it. Is that big of a deal? No, it's really not, right? So we don't need to sort of obsess over like so much of like what it means, or why is this happening, or why is this good? It will happen your entire life. That's it. That's what a contract is. You guys agreed before you came to Earth to work together. That's what a contract is. You have cords. Cords keep two people stuck together. It's the universal leash, because humans will just wander off and not get anything done. And the only thing you could really do in a situation like this, because you don't want to do a cord cutting, right? You don't want to sign off on that contract and sign on to a new contract. You don't want to do a binding or, you know, a blocking. You don't want to do that. There are options for people with this problem, but you don't like any of the solutions because you're enjoying sort of working with the energy, and that's okay. So identify it, know that it will always be there until you do these other things. And sometimes even with these other things, it can still kind of creep up, and honor it for what it is. It's a contract. You're learning what it feels like to have someone like that in your life, even if a lot of the time they feel like a ghost. Okay. And you can always send also, as you sort of observe, like, oh, she's in my energy, you know, you can always send, if you want to send like a loving energy back at her, You know, it's kind of like, there you go. Almost like responding to a text, you know, sending you off with love. But right now, that's all it can be. So there's no point in lingering on it, you know, and that's just about controlling your mind. Shut that thought off, replace it with something else. That's just habit forming, basic 101 stuff. Thank you, Edgar. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? And how many more do we have, Diana? Because I thought it was like 9, and then it seems to be going like back up. Okay, this is last call. So if you guys have not dropped your donation and your question, do so at this time. I'm going to be wrapping this show up with the last of the questions that came in. We will be back, I want to say, for the yes or no question show. I think that's the next one that I have coming up on, is it Monday? I want to say maybe it's Monday. Okay, so you guys can start getting your early questions in for that. And I do have, I think, 3 different shows that I'm doing next week. So I believe I'm live on Monday and Wednesday and Thursday. So that'll be fun. Tune in. All right, who do we have next? Next up is Deanna Marie. Okay, Deanna Marie says, an important leader at my work, EHP, is leaving. What is the outlook for me and my team of pharmacists as a result? Okay, EHP is leaving. What is that going to look like for the rest of them? Somebody else seems to be moving up. This could be a male. Moving up or moving out. I'm moving up, by the way. So I'm either moving up here or I'm moving out and moving up. But I'm moving up. Then you've got, I feel like 2 females. I thought it was 3 females, but I don't know if this guy's just gay or what's going on. Seems very well balanced. Okay, so then we've got, is there John or G or J names? Somebody else is like a little bit older. Like, this guy's like very meticulous. Okay. I think it looks good for you because some things may change in areas where you've been wanting them to change. And I know that the overall structure can't change like too much. I mean, we can't create a brand new whole entire thing. Like, for example, if you're working at CVS, it's still going to be CVS. You know what I'm saying? But it's like with your structure and system within the larger, you know, 3 to 4, maybe even 5 different things are going to change or could potentially change. And for you, it seems to be something relating to schedules, something relating to deadlines or demands, and something relating to names or titles or the way things are done, distribution. And it's like, this is a mess, or this shouldn't be this confusing. You know, there's just some things. I also think there could be more perks coming in. And a little more leniency. Again, we're back to schedule with that though. Okay, with the leniency, like what if I need to go on vacation? What if I need to take a sick day? What if I need to take a mental health day? What if I need more paid time off? What if I need, you know, this or the other, or my kid needs something? Like what, you know, it feels like things are changing. Now, not all of this can happen immediately. But I do feel that for you, you're somewhat happier, you know, with the system changes. Now, the interesting thing is I see some other people being kind of unhappy, you know, or complaining. So they may not have the same goals and ambitions, you know, that you do. Everyone's on their own path. Someone may get cut. Somebody may be like let go. Someone may get cut. I'm wondering if it's this other female that I'm seeing or if it ends up being that one male. But I think there's the possibility of someone being let go after this. So there could be a butting of heads or someone getting called out, someone who already has like a record, I heard, a record or a file, or, I mean, they're being talked to, like, they're being talked at like it's a criminal record or something, you know what I mean? So that'll be interesting. But you're pretty good. I feel good about this. I think if you don't like the energy of the place, you could find yourself looking elsewhere. But there are some things, whether it's been like the last 3 years you've accumulated, or, you know, you've been within that system 3 years, there does seem to be like a 3-year benefit for you. But there could be other places, you know, certainly too, that you could go if you decide that you don't care for this. But yeah, I feel good about it for you. Okay. Thank you, Deanna. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Camilla. Any messages from my guides? Camilla. Any messages from her guides? What do your guides have to say? Seems like you're looking for more meaningful conversation. If you have had, and this is coming from your relationship guide, but your joy guide is right behind your relationship guide. So your joy guide watches over your mental and emotional well-being and your spiritual development. And it just seems like the conversations that you have with people, it's always the same. It's like, I don't know how else to describe this. This is going to sound weird, but it's almost like your mother and your aunts and your grandmothers had certain types of conversations. And then like you have certain types of conversations with certain types of people. It's almost like it's the same thing replicated, or this is what family is, or this is what friendship is, or this is what community looks like. And it's like, maybe traditionally, or maybe that's what I saw, you know, but you seem to want to, like, she was a fairy. I mean, you seem to want to like prance around on the beach at night and look up at the stars and talk about spirit and astrology and, you know, the cosmic connections, and have like romantic intervals of curiosity, and you know what I mean? Like, you just seem, there's a lot of like Gemini energy in this, and a lot of like Sagittarius energy in this, and a lot of like Leo energy in this. Is like very kind of fiery, and it's like fun and, you know, adventuresome. And I'm not saying you don't, you know, live your life that way sometimes, but it's almost like you're looking to have deeper conversations, more meaning, connections with others that encourage you to think differently or more deeply, or connect the dots. You know, I'm seeing you look up at the sky and you're like, I've never seen that. You know, it's almost like, you know, if you were studying astronomy, it's like, is that what this is? It's like, I can see the connection to the stars. It's like, why all of a sudden are you seeing this way? Well, sometimes, you know, we start talking with people that are a little bit outside of the norm, you know, of who we deal with, and they get us thinking. And it's not that common, but people who can get you thinking, right? That's the kind of company your higher mind wants right now. So, you know, I'm not saying ditch your family and your friends and go off and, like, I don't know, join a commune that lives on the beach, and you know what I'm saying? In the Caribbean or something per se, but there is this need that's not going to go away for you to start making, I don't even want to say deeper connections, just different types of connections. Okay? Expand out socially. That's what your higher mind needs. That's what's next in your life contract. You seem to be the one who has to stimulate a lot. I'll wrap it up with that. It seems like when people get around you, it's like, I really love that conversation with her. I want more of her. I want to talk to her. Okay, but like, why, it's almost like, why do I always have to be the one who's stimulating? Okay, why is everyone else such a freaking yawn? Okay, like, you want people on your level, or just different, or, you know, something. You want something, like, give me something. Okay, thank you. We're gonna move on. Who else do we have? Next up is Lilibet. Lily. Lilibet. 5532 Lilibet. Hello, my friend. I am a new subscriber and it's my birthday. Happy birthday. Does that make you a Cancer? Aren't we still in Cancer season? Happy birthday and thank you for subscribing. Good to have you here. Next up is Jillian. Nope, did that jump? Yes. Okay, we're back. Jillian Corbin. Guidance. I need guidance on if it would be best to stay living in this house close to my mother due to her health, or if it would be best if we moved away back to our home state and she stayed. Okay. Is that the whole thing? Okay. Should she be staying where she is close to her mom, or should she go? Oh, I kind of hate this answer, and I don't know why, because it's none of my business. But I feel like you need to go. And I think that can be hard, and I think it could remain a little hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat. And I think it could be a little confusing for all parties involved. But I get this sense that mom is supposed to be on her own journey doing her own thing there. And you are 150% supposed to be doing something else somewhere else. Okay. And I feel like I need to just leave it at that, because once we start getting into the details of this reading, it gets very complicated. It gets very overwhelming, and it could feel a lot like a tug of war. I do feel like I'll sort of wrap it up with this, though. You need to concentrate on how mom is. If you look at mom, the history of mom, the history of your relationship with mom, mom's attitudes toward life, the way mom handles things, the way mom wants things, when you look at all of that and you say, this is who she is, this is how she is, this is how she wants it to be, okay? You could just honor that. Also, knowing that you're not leaving the planet, okay? You're not moving to Mars. You're not, you're not passing away. You're not, you can always connect, and you can always bring in extra help should she need it, or, it feels like she has a ton of help. So there's help readily available. I don't know if you're utilizing all of this. I'm just saying it's there. And you can check in, and you can physically go back and touch base. There are options here. What I don't feel is an honest option is to stay stuck and to stay there. I don't feel like it's good for anybody. Okay. And I know that one's a little tricky. That one's a little tough, but I can't lie about what I'm seeing. Okay. Thank you. Are you okay? What are you doing? What is over there? You getting bored? She is getting bored. Yes. We love summertime outside. She was funny the other day because she's got a groundhog lives under the house and they hang out, and she has, through a great deal of telepathic training, learned how to make friends with the squirrels from the tree out front. And then she's got a white, I don't know if they're called armadillos or what the hell I'm looking at, but there's this white thing that now hangs out with her. She's got a raccoon friend. She's got 2 skunk friends, and she's got cat friends from the neighborhood. She is the social butterfly. Okay, let's move on. She's definitely sick and tired of my ass, especially after eight months of winter. Maraid. Okay. Maraid is next. Maraid, question number 2. Does either my Auntie Birdie, or is that Bridie, or Auntie Celia, okay, Bridie or Celia, have any messages for me? Okay. I feel like both. I do feel like I have both. They're very opposite. They're very opposite types of people. Celia has a way of being a little bit more reserved and like looking over at the other one and being like, don't say that, or that's crazy, or like, there's just different opinions. I think ultimately their opinions break down to be pretty much the same, but they have different like presentations, attitudes about things. And Birdie or Bridie, it feels like she's a little bit more, talkative, a little bit more, maybe kind of rough around the edges, or a little more boisterous with things. But the way she presents things, it's like, this is a woman who's using her true voice. She just has a way of speaking, and very authentic. She may have had like maybe even a deeper voice, or it just sort of comes off as, maybe some people didn't care for that. But she's going to tell you like it is. She's going to tell it like it is. I feel like Celia is a way of sort of sugarcoating things a little bit more, saying things like, I'm presenting a story, you know what I mean? Or let's look at it this way, or what if this, little anecdotes, and then, wrapping it up with a little bit more of a palatable bow. What they're talking about with you, though, is releasing balloons. Now, you could do this. I mean, go get some balloons, you know what I mean? It's symbolic, though, of a releasing ceremony. Wow. Why are these? All of them are yellow. All of them are yellow. Yellow is fun, joy, peace, travel, adventure, happiness. Simple happiness, like inner joy, okay? Blessings from the universe. Seeing them, accepting them. There's talk of more coffee with friends. On a side note, we're veering off, but whatever. Okay, on a side note, more coffee time with friends, more coffee with friends. I don't care if you're doing this over the phone or you're doing this with, you know what I mean? As he agrees, at an actual coffee shop or whatever, but like more coffee talk with friends, more coffee talk, okay? More coffee time with friends. Coffee talk. Isn't that funny? Aren't you guys from New Jersey? Are they from Jersey? But it's like more time with the girls. Okay, more time with the girls needs to be brought in here. I think that this balloon ceremony has to do with as many things in your life as you want to release. If you were to put a little note, little fortune cookie note in a balloon, blow it up with some helium, put a ribbon on it. And it's almost like, this is what I'm going to release, is written on this slip of paper, but it's surrounded with fun, happiness, joy, travel, adventure, peace. Okay. This yellow, and you're releasing it. You're releasing it. You could do this literally. You could do this metaphorically, symbolically. I mean, you could do this in your head. You could do this as just a visualization. You know what I mean? You could do this in any way you want, but there is this sense. I will let you outside. I promise. Give me 10 minutes. Okay. 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Every time you release, and we're talking, one at a time, but it's really in the writing itself. This is what I want to release. This is what I want to release. This is what we call a releasing ceremony. You know what I mean? This is what I do at my drum circles. We have a fire pit. We release, we burn. We all do it collectively to build up that energy. You can do this alone or with other people. And then you manifest what you want to replace it, right? So that's what I see you needing to do. That's what they're supporting you in doing. I don't think you've ever done a full ceremony in your life where you've, maybe because you didn't know these are things that needed to be released. But it's like, now you know what no longer serves your growth, your development, your happiness, your inner peace, whatever it is. You could have 50 balloons. You could have 2 balloons. I see you ending up with like 6 to 8. Okay. But it's up to you. And they're encouraging you to do this because you're moving into a new way of living, and there needs to be some type of recognition, some type of closure, and honoring everything you have just figured out, okay, and getting ready for the new. There needs to be something bigger than just, yeah, I think I'm growing a little bit. Okay. Make it almost like a celebration. Wow. Interesting. They love you very much. There's also talk of a birthday or an anniversary right around this time. I can't tell if it's with Celia or this is with you, but it's like red rose. So happy birthday, happy anniversary. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it how it resonates. Also, be careful with your teeth. Don't be opening shit up with your teeth. Like I did this the other day. I'm opening up a vitamin bottle. Mary Ruth's, ironically, right? That's freaking crazy. Anyways, it's like an inside story. But like, so I'm opening the Mary Ruth's and they've got this piece of like foil that like, I swear, like I have to take a knife and chop, to get through it. And so I'm using my teeth and, okay. But anyways, there's talk of like, don't be using your teeth to open things. I don't care if it's plastic packages. I don't care if it's something where you're like, well, this won't break my teeth. Like stop. Okay. Stop. And be careful. Or, this could also mean don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't be taking on so much stuff. You're stressing your whole life out. Okay. And, just watch any dental stuff, of course. All right. I can't prescribe or diagnose, but my impression of it was don't open things with your front teeth. All right. We're going to move on. Who else do we have? All right, I'm going to have to let her out. I have to let this cat out. She is losing her mind, and I have to use the restroom real quick. So you guys give me a quick 2-minute break here. Come on. You want to go outside? You want to go outside? We can. Smell is so thick. It's so bad out there. Like I just can't even breathe. It's just, and you can't see. You can't see anything. All right, who do we have next? Thank you for being patient. And how many more do we have, Diana? Need a new piece of paper here in a minute. Edgar says, what messages would Spirit like me to know for right now? Okay. All right. Let me just check something real quick here with my account. Hold on. Okay. Just had to shut my booking off. Okay, because this number keeps going up. That's okay. That's great. What messages? Okay, so Edgar said, what messages does Spirit want me to know for right now? Any messages for Edgar right now? Huh. I just heard, you know, take your money seriously. So this could be a period of time where you're debating on what type of larger investments you really want to make in the future. So as we go forward, are we talking about a relocation? Are we talking about real estate? Are we talking about some type of vehicle even? Okay, there's no right or wrong answer to this necessarily. It's more of a question. What are the big investments that you have been wanting to make? And are you ready? Or like ready, steady, go, like the gun going off. So I feel like you're supposed to be also getting educated to a degree, not to say you have to hire someone to full on mentor you in any major in-depth way. Okay. But there may be research that you need to do on how exactly to do this the best way. Okay. I feel to some degree like you're gonna wing it. Like you're like, well, I'll just deal with it when I get there, or I'll just wing it. There's a lot more that you could be learning that could also be putting you in better alignment with your money manifestations, because it's like if you start living like you have all that money, you're making moves and educating yourself like you already have all that money. Okay, you're essentially saying to the universe, I'm already there. It's already mine. I've already claimed it. The other thing coming up with you is I want to say working on health in regards to gut health, a little bit more protective energy there. And I can't prescribe or diagnose, but if you've been feeling like something's going on in the intestines, this could also be feeling like an infection, or this could be like eating something weird. I think I ate something weird. Okay. And maybe like 3 days later, you're feeling off about it. They want you to pay more attention to your gut health, the biome, the microbiome, whatever it is. And keep almost like a little bit of a journal or a watchful eye on that, and see what else you could add to it that looks to me like, and again, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but sauerkraut, or what the hell is it? Is it pickles, or what is that we can eat to sort of balance out our stomach, our intestines? What is, I don't know, there's a word for this, all right, but people tend to use a couple different types of food that can help with that. It's just something worth looking at. Okay. And thank you, Edgar. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Okay, Carly Sizelak said, hi, Ivy. I wanted to find out a little bit about my love life and to see if anything in that area comes through. Okay, so Carly, love life. What's going on in Carly's love life? What's coming up in Carly's love life? Any messages for Carly on love life? I feel like you've had a period of time in your life where you've been fairly excited about the prospects, the possibility of love, maybe feeling like there could be a fairy tale ending, or there's got to be one person for me. Who is it? This is an adventure. And now it feels like you could be entering into a period where somebody's approaching you and you're shutting the door on them, and you're just sort of saying like, I think I lost interest in this. And I keep hearing Holdor, the guy, the giant from Game of Thrones. He's a Hodor. The whole time everyone called him that. He was actually saying, hold the door. Okay, hold the door. So anyways, I got this giant guy coming toward you, and he's like a big teddy bear and maybe very, very interested in sort of giving you, a lot of what you've wanted, but you're like, I don't know, checking out, like not holding the door, like not even opening the door really. So this is interesting. I think that ultimately what's happening here is that you have gone through a period of time where you've recognized that love isn't really what you thought. Not that you don't have it to give, of course, but that a lot of other people won't give it, can't give it, don't give it well, okay, or don't give it in the way that you give it, like you can't get it back in the way that you wanted. And you are redesigning and maybe losing your taste, okay, for staying open to it because it's exhausting, okay, to go through that process. So this person could be coming in here and making you question whether or not you have a kink for unavailable people, or you have a pattern of dealing with toxicity, or you have decided that whatever feels good and brings a dopamine hit and strokes your ego and this and that and gives some roller coaster butterfly stomach flip, that's where it's at, and when this person comes in, he's not dysregulating your nervous system. He is offering you everything that you want. He is just sort of peace and serenity, and you're like, boring, or this can't be it. You know what I mean? Or like, I'm over it. I didn't want it anyways. And it's something you're going to need to work through. Okay. So I think you could be trying to change what it is that you have traditionally been attracted to and what has traditionally been attracted to you, to get it from a place where it's not actually fulfilling, even though it's given some illusions in that, to something that is. All right. And this is going to be the beginning of a longer process, but it starts with this person. Okay. And I just want to say this as a general message. Don't friend zone, someone who just doesn't make your stomach flip, people, because that's often a big mistake. Okay. Or dismiss them. People who make your stomach flip are dysregulating your nervous system. That's not good. Okay. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Tamika Smith. Tamika Smith 1583. Tamika says, hi, me and my boyfriend broke up 2 days ago. He has blocked me. Ooh, what did you do? You got a man to block you. I like you. All right. And my boyfriend broke up 2 days ago. He has blocked me. Wow. From telephone calls. Do you see us being able to work things out and get back together? Okay. Well, I don't have his first name. Do I have his initials? Do I have anything? All right. Will we work things out? Will we be able to get back together? I don't feel like he was entirely honest with you. I feel like you were irritated. I feel like almost like this is instigated. I feel like he has not been completely Hector. I feel like he has done things to gaslight you, and you're simply responding. And if you're responding in such a way where he wants to act like you're being a lunatic, or you're being crazy, or you're being super accusational, or whatever, then you're giving him what he wants, which is power and control. Now, at first when I read this, I was like, wow, you got a guy to block you. It's always a sign that you've really got some upper hand and you rubbed him the wrong way. As I take a closer look at this, that's not what's going on here. This is a manipulative system of abuse. What he has done has essentially gaslit you, not been truthful. It's crazy making for you. You've reacted. You responded like any normal person would. And now he's trying to get that upper hand back. He's trying to get you into a place of submission where you're hoping and praying and chasing him and just hoping that he will unblock you and that you can get back together. That way, he doesn't have to fix anything. The blame is on you. You're submissive, you're docile, and he owns you. That's what's going on. And he's pulling it off 100% because you're asking, you're hoping. I don't think you're ready for the truth. I'm telling you the truth, but I don't think you're ready to receive this message. So I think ultimately the answer to your question, and I'll just give you that and wish you the best with this, is yes, you will get back together because an abuser never really leaves. They will drive you into the ground. They are always happy to play this game. Okay. They know that they've got you like that. They know that they can lie and deceive and manipulate and omit, and that you will submit, that you will sometimes react, but that it doesn't take much to get you back into submission, to put you back in your place. It doesn't take much. And this is a cycle. This isn't the first time it's happened. This won't be the last time that it happens. And he's pretty good at this. He's always done this. This is what he does. He also learned this. So I feel like he may have learned it from his father or his father's father, or you know what I mean? Here's the thing to remember. Whatever went on with his dad or his mom or his grandfather or whatever systems of abuse he's learned from, that's not what's going on anymore today. Okay, those systems can't work today in the way that they did in the past because you're a grown-ass woman in 2026 who can have a credit card and a bank account and a career and a life of your own. Those women couldn't. So he's working with old tools. Okay, so don't fall for it. You're not trapped. Okay. You can trap yourself, but there's no need. There's no need. All right. And yeah, he'll eventually unblock you and know that you're just like desperately waiting there. And, he'll do this again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Okay. So I would expect, yes, that you can get back together. I wouldn't do it, but I would expect that it's absolutely going to be made available. I would even say based on today, probably no longer than 3 weeks. All right. Thank you, Tamika. We're going to move on to another one. Elvin Ramos is next. Elvin Ramos. What message is coming through for Elvin? You have a grandmother coming through here cooking, like rolling something, and then it feels like cutting up big pieces of beef and putting it in maybe some kind of a stew. She's like rolling this and putting this filling in here, and then she's making something with like a beef stew almost. And she's a multitasker. She's like yelling at a kid, and she's watching this, and she's, giving this message to you, and she's cooking, and she's checking on a time clock. She's cleaning something else. I mean, she's very, very, very busy, mentally busy, physically busy. She said that you're a lot like her, where you seem to have a lot going on. And if you don't have a lot going on, you can get stir crazy. You can maybe create drama. You can look for things to do. You could be, you need to be busy or else. And I think you haven't fully realized that about yourself. I think that you maybe recognize that you have a lot of energy, or that you don't require a ton of sleep, or, you know, that you like to always have something planned or to be on the go. I think you've realized that with that, some things are more valuable than others. Maybe you hate driving. Maybe at this point you're like, oh my God, if I have to do one more stupid commute, or if I have to take the kids and run their errands and do these extracurriculars and do the stuff that I hate, or, you know, shopping, or, I mean, just like, you're realizing that there's a difference in busyness. Some busyness is draining and you loathe it, but there is a certain level to busyness that's missing with you. And I think it has to do with more creativity, because for her, it could just look like she's a grandma cooking for the family, but that's not what was going on there. This was a passion for her. She may have grown a lot of these herbs. You know, she may have, okay, which is another hobby. Like, she may have, like, designed her life in such a way where it was full. It was full and deliberate. Okay, she's talking about living deliberately, deliberate living. And there was always somebody, like, whether it's like waiting to come over and she was going to like make some lemonade, or, you know, like she was always ready to sit and talk, like with a friend, or to be a listening ear for someone in the family. Or there was always like there was always something also social going on that you may also feel is missing. So there seems to be a couple different areas happening here with you, where if you feel as though you're missing something, there's a void, there's a gap, or you're trying to fill it with, I mean, whatever, useless things or useless people, or, you know, wasting time. If you feel like you're treading water in some areas, it's like, why do I bother? It's because you've got a big hole in time that's not filled with something fruitful, something that it should be. Now, for you, it looks like, yes, it is some of that social, maybe having more meaningful conversations and exchanges with people. So build up that intimacy level, you know, with others, which is always going to be about allowing yourself to be vulnerable, sharing your truth, listening to theirs, you know, being a support. I see that increasing for you. But I also see, whether this is art, or this is music, or this is, you know, the healing arts, this is something I mean, anything creative, you know, even doing something with your hands, where I'm not saying you have to get into carpentry per se, or like, you know, but it just seems like you need to be working more with your hands. And I know you do your car stuff, but like, I don't think I'm looking at that. Now, maybe you are getting more into that, and that is, you know, expanding. Okay, so be it then. But this feels a little bit different to me. So she wants you to start looking there, because you're entering into a period in your life where you need to be a little bit more, I want to say, well-rounded, and you are becoming the satisfaction you're seeking, okay? Through creative outlets. She loves you very much. The hell was that? Did you guys hear that? That was for you, Tony. Woo. All right. Whole ceiling moved. Oh, all right. Moving on. Thank you. Oh, are we at time? Okay, that was the grand finale. Some freakish paranormal thing in here. All right. You guys, thank you so much. Can you pop up? What is the next show I'm doing, Diana? I think it is the yes or no question show. Okay, you guys, I will be back. Now, next week, I'm doing 3 live shows. That's going to be Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, back here on all these platforms. That's the yes or no question show. So you guys can start getting your early questions in for that now. It is going to be unlimited. And that is any type of question. I'll give you a yes or no answer and a little bit of feedback on why that's your answer. Then we have on Wednesday and Thursday 2 other live shows. I don't have them in the lineup yet, but I'll be pumping out a video letting you guys know so you could be prepared, tune in, get your early questions in. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you need to book a party, a psychic fair, or a reading with me, I also do healings. You can go onto my website, IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Spirit. Everyone have a great night.